We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah! Don't smile at me, Sliwa. Don't smile at me. I just had an epiphany, and we got to make sure that we're on the same page.
Our side chats might be the best side chats.
We were talking about what we got.
Me and Cody's side chats, okay?
Yeah. Good morning to you, Slea. How you feeling?
Good morning to you.
Good Roars to you, Em.
Good morning,
What's up,
everybody.
What's up, bro? All right, slap that mic.
There you go.
Hey, you know what? Let's just have him talk through that. It sounds like he's talking through a Jack in the Box drive-in speaker the whole time.
It sounds like he's
I'll take curly fries, 2 tacos.
14 feet in water, and we're barely
or
just
like
here
an
in the end
old
of it.
like subway announcer in New York City.
Yes.
Like,
did you guys ever have those walkie-talkies as kids where you could talk to your brother on the other side of the house or whatever?
Yeah.
You could barely hear it. It sounded exactly like that.
Can we do this? You know, anytime you go, you do a lot of walking these days, right?
6.3 miles yesterday.
Ooh,
good
very
one.
nice, Travis.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
how's your knee feeling?
My knee is good. We'll talk about my hips. My hips are not great. I'm starting to feel like bruised or Gratterall. I have a hip.
We'll line
at the
you
moment.
up. We got to just realign your hips here real
Feeling
quick.
good. It's just my hips hurt a little bit.
When you get to a crosswalk and you hit the, you just basically hit the button to indicate you're there. So now you're going to get the walk sign. I get it, but at what point did we get these speakers that are in there?
Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
That was a good impression right there.
No, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, relax. And then I hit it again. It's like, wait. I'm like, I'm just letting you know that I'm here to cross. I'm not going anywhere.
They want you to wait.
Loud.
They want you to wait. So what we're talking about
are better than ours.
Oh, for sure. No, look, it's like a speak and spell. It's like toy from the 1970s.
Speaking of this, so I take the bus sometimes to work, and I'll come up on not Olympic, Figueroa, I think. I can't remember. Whatever this long street is here by our office.
It's probably Olympic. Yeah.
No, it's not Olympic because Olympic goes. It's the other one.
Okay.
Anyway, doesn't really matter. I'm walking across a crosswalk.
I'm gonna go outside and look.
And I press the button.
Wait.
And it said no. It doesn't say wait. It says change password.
What?
Change password. I don't even know what that means.
Someone hacked into the thing.
Change password?
Yes.
Someone at Metro needs to go in there and change the password is what it is.
It's like right across from one of the entrances for crypto that's closest to the convention center. And so I press that and it goes change password.
Now I'm not trusting the walk sign. For all I know, everyone says walk and it's all green.
I'm assuming it's for the sight impaired, the blind. So
yes, it is.
But change password doesn't help me when to cross the street. Wait.
I'm just saying, stop yelling at me.
So when I want to interrupt you from now on, I'm just going to say, wait. And it's loud, too. That's the thing. It's not like it's like you hit the button and they go, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, it's wait. And then I look around like, did anybody else hear that? And if I press it again, somebody's looking at me like, stop pressing the button.
We got a busy week this week, my friend.
Very busy week.
We've got a really busy week. We got our Pizza Hut thing coming up on Friday.
Yep.
We've got Islands coming up on Thursday, and we've got our Pickleball Madness tournament coming up on Saturday. We have a 3-event week coming up, Slea. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Let me just kind of throw this out there. It's not like you and I are.
Wait.
It was so aggressive.
Sorry.
The look on your face, too. You looked at me right in the eyes.
My bad.
It's not like we do this often, so getting a chance to be out there with our people and getting a chance to go to different parts of Los Angeles, come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. Let me give you guys the details for this upcoming Friday. But if you're out in the Anaheim area, we're going to be there doing our show this Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Pizza Hut in Anaheim, 301 South Magnolia Avenue. Come out for a chance to win that 75-inch TV that we've been talking about from our friends over at Mirror Audio Video in Westwood. Nothing but TVs to watch the games at Pizza Hut. So all the games going on, you could watch it there. Plus, we got happy hour specials starting at 10 a.m., $1 off pints of beer, $2 off pitchers, half-price apps, the $9 express lunch deal, and more. Pizza Hut in Anaheim this Friday for Travis and Sliwa Show live on the road. Hang out with us 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. No one out, Pizza Hut.
What time do the Aztecs play on Friday?
Not a good time.
What time?
10:30.
So right in the middle of our show.
Timing.
That's the perfect time. Yes.
Yeah, for the show.
Okay,
yes.
Let me tell you why it's not perfect for my standpoint. I'm awful at teams that I genuinely care about. I'm not a good watch. Like I get nervous. So Laker game was going on Saturday, and SDSU was playing against New Mexico's the Mountain West Championship. To my right, there's a TV, so I put the game on. And there I am, doing the pregame show, talking to Michael. I had to keep changing the channel. I'm like, I can't do this. They go on a 6-0 run, and everything seems fine. They go down by 6. I'm like, change the damn channel so I can pay attention.
So that's the best, though, because the people that come to see us at 10:30 get to see
be happy
you melt down or be very happy, and that's the best thing. So if you have a chance to, you'll see a different side of Slea on Friday.
Get out there, Aztecs. Aztec fans in Anaheim, come hang out.
Last year when we were
Aztec
at
haters.
Yamava, was it Furman that clipped you guys, Em?
Yeah, it was Furman. At the last second, Kihei Clark throws a very stupid
that
pass
wasn't very
to the
good.
half, and then they ended up on a heave and win.
They won on the heave,
Yep.
and Emily was just devastated, and it was all caught on camera.
And our
And
social
you wish
team
you would've
was
been
like,
there,
our
because
social
then you
team
see
was
it.
like, zoom in on that tear.
Well, it was kind of exciting.
Hey, I mean, it was a glorious clip, and so you need to
Get
have
her
it forever.
crying.
It's pretty
So
good.
you might see Slea cry on Friday,
It could
depending
be.
on what happens
Hopefully
with the
not.
Aztecs.
Who do they play?
They got UAB.
University of
Okay.
Alabama, Birmingham.
Yeah, they got UAB and
Believe they're the Dragons, something like
I
that.
don't know. It's 5-12. Those are usually tricky.
5-12.
5-12 is usually
It's
tricky.
something.
It's actually Blaze the Dragon.
Blaze the Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the Blazers. That's right. But they have a
Yeah.
dragon mascot. So I get partial credit.
I
get
gotta
a C
figure out
minus.
if they win that game. Spokane
So you
on
can't do that,
Sunday.
Al. It's the tournament. 5-12. You're already looking for what's the next game. That's
I'm
bad
talking about
mojo.
maybe trying to attend. Maybe on Sunday.
Yeah, they're going to lose for sure. The more
flight.
you want to make sure they lose,
Quick
book a
to
flight.
Spokane.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Wait.
I'm not going to book a flight.
Wait.
I'll wait to book a flight.
Wait.
I'll
There you
wait to
go.
book a flight.
You're going to want to do that. Then we got Islands on Thursday. We got our pickleball tournament on Saturday.
Yep.
If it's anything like last year, our pickleball tournament, you and I will kind of be the starting match for the 7-10 personalities, at least, because we were the first ones to play last year. We kind of went in the order of the shows,
Yeah, I
at
think
least.
we were 5:30 tip off. We did
Exactly.
5:30 a.m.
Are
We
you
got
ready?
out there.
Have you
I'm going to play this
found
week.
your paddle?
No, I'm going to play this week.
You are?
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't found my paddle. I got,
You got a new
paddle.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Rookie
Oh, that's right. He chewed
tore
up
into the
one.
other one, so that one had to go.
I say this with all due respect.
Yeah.
Why are you going to play this week?
I just want to know how to play again. That's it. I just want to know how to play again. I just
you
want
hit
to
the
have
ball over the net.
I just
want to
have a
between
rough
the lines.
idea of when we're both supposed to be back. When one of us is supposed to be. I want to
Well,
get the scoring back under. I just get
The
I just
scoring
wanna play
thing, I'm
2
going to need a
games this
brief
week.
refresher.
Yeah.
But we worked best when I was at the front and you were in the back.
Oh, yeah, no question about
that
that.
was our best combination.
100%.
Because you
100%.
obviously are going to cover more ground than I am, but I got to a decent
You
amount of
ate
balls.
up everything in the front.
Well, it's hard to look. The court's small, right?
Yep.
A pickleball court is not big, so I can cover,
Yeah.
some ground.
It's less to do with the listeners. It's more to do with if at some point you turn to me and say, Al, let's win this game, which probably the chances are not probably very high. But if we just happen to be playing somebody from 710 ESPN and you and I might be a couple deep and all of a sudden we want to win a game, this week I need to play 2 games to kind of get me back on
You
track.
have seen the other people at this station do things, right?
I have seen
So
them.
we're good.
Who are
I
we
have
talking
some-
about specifically? Let's
No, I'm
name
not. I'm not
names.
talking about anybody
I've watched
specific. I'm just saying
They're
that
all together.
we played last year.
They're all
and
lumped together.
I feel like we are. I'm not saying we're a lot better than everybody else. I'm just saying that I feel like we got a good chance against everybody else. That's kind of what I'm looking. That's how I'm looking
They've
at
been
it.
playing. Yeah, they've been.
Yeah, but really, does that matter?
They're like in Navy SEAL
We got our
training.
asses handed to us.
We did.
By Travis and Sliwa.
We did.
I feel like every other show is in like a Navy SEAL training.
That's fine.
It's because they're scared.
That's fine. Sometimes you just show up and let your talent hang out.
If there was one opponent you guys could face, who would you want it to be here at 710?
Whoever's most likely to beat us.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather take the team that could get us early and get either past them or get clipped by them and be free to do
Basically,
whatever
I
we
think
want at that
Caitlin and
point.
DeMarco is going to be a solid
That's a good
pair.
combo.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good combo
pretty
right
good.
there.
Look,
There is no
Trudell and
Denver Nuggets.
McMenamin
There is no
going to be
Denver
really
Nuggets.
good. I think Sedano and Cap could be much better because I
Yeah,
know they've
I
been
agree.
playing. So we'll see. And then Ireland and Lisa, that could be a sneaky little matchup because
Yeah,
Lisa
for all we
plays a
know.
lot.
For all we know, John, after every round of golf, he's going to play 2 hours of pickleball for all we know.
Fairly certain that's not happening. I could be wrong. I could be wrong for sure. Emily, you sounded pretty excited this morning to find out that your Who's were in the play-in game.
Super excited. I'll talk about it more in Bud and Thorn, but yeah, it's.
I got to come up with that. It was. Ugh. I've never seen somebody less enthused about their team getting. Do you count it as a? I know if technically, officially, it is an NCAA tournament game.
It's like how you kind of play in game in the NBA. It's
well,
basically that.
Technically is not playoffs.
I know. So this is technically not playoffs.
It shouldn't be. I agree.
Technically, it is a tournament game. That's what's weird about it.
But I don't count it.
But they do. Like when your NCAA record will either be one game better or one game worse. They play Tuesday. They play tomorrow.
Yeah, they play tomorrow.
Yeah. She was less than
but
enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'll lay into them in Bud and Thorn about 12:30.
She also threw cold water all over my Kate Middleton sighting from the weekend. I read this morning or on Sunday that Kate Middleton had finally been seen.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And apparently,
so we're good.
I thought so, but apparently not.
We're not. We're not good. Okay, who has the video?
You have to understand something.
People.
All he has to tell me is we're good, and I'm going to believe him.
Okay, here's
so
the
why does he think we're good?
Because the LA Times told me that they had a picture or a video.
Sounds reputable.
I have not seen the video. I've seen the Sun say, "Hey, we have reports that someone has seen her." Okay, whose reports? Paid off by the Sun? Unless I lay eyes on Kate Middleton talking.
What do you want to shake her hand?
No, I just need to see her talking and being like address a State of the Union, but Kate Middleton.
State of the monarchy.
Exactly. Well,
yes. State of the crown.
It's in distress for sure because they
have. Out then.
They've just put themselves in such a bad hole because this is a PR disaster. They just need to. They've just been messing it up.
I don't know if
it's
a PR disaster.
It is.
We're talking about it,
and it's not
like
positive.
Kind of. Well. Hopefully it all ends up positive.
Put it to you this way. This is the first time I've had even a modicum of interest in the royal family in my entire life.
I still have no idea what's going on.
But that's I don't care what they want. I'm saying from my perspective, this is the first time I'm like, well, that's kind of weird that she's AWOL. That's weird. Now, if she just showed up tomorrow and like, hey guys, I'm right here, I will immediately go back to never caring about any of it ever. The longer she's gone, the more intrigued I am.
There's an embargo that will be lifted on Wednesday with some important news the BBC and other people have held on to, so it's going to be a big thing.
Can you do that sigh again? That sigh I could take two ways. Remember, like back in the day, it would be like a commercial of somebody having a refreshing drink. Or somebody's just like calm, cool, and collect. But it's not the side that she's using.
It's not. It's.
Well, that's more. But that one's kind of her side is a little bit in the middle there.
It's more like the sigh that you give to the doctor when they're trying to measure you with a stethoscope and going. Breathing in and out. That's
take it in and out, deep breath.
No, when they're like, "Can you step on the scale?" And it's like, first off,
really
it's 2 o'clock. It's not fair. I ate all day today, and you didn't ask me to take my shoes off or my clothes off.
First thing in the morning, Slea. That's what they always tell you. First thing in the morning is when you're going to get your best and your most consistent readings. The Lakers, I think they're still finishing up the fourth quarter from Saturday night. I think that's still taking place right now. We'll figure that out. And you have a path?
Yeah, there's a path.
There is.
There's a path for the Lakers.
I'm going to need you to get out your machete and hack your way through this path because I can't see it from here. That's next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Did
It's
you?
about Kate Middleton. I'm not going to answer. 'Cause I don't have answers.
The Sun did report.
I watched the video. There's no Kate Middleton in there.
I know, but it's on Twitter.
Okay, got it. All right. Anyway, Travis, what's your question?
And it has 7 likes.
Oh, my gosh. 7 likes.
Yeah,
viral.
but it's
say
on
more?
Twitter. Should be like the comeback for everything.
Need I say more?
I don't believe that the Earth is round. Yeah, but it's on Twitter. That should be the comeback for everything. Did you redecorate your office? What's up with that chair in there? I just noticed that walking back from
Lindsay
coffee.
redecorated the office.
How do you feel about that?
I don't put much effort into how the office looks. I kind of go into the office and I get on my computer and I do nothing else. The chair looks fine.
I walked through.
Yeah.
I noticed it,
Yeah.
and is that plant new too?
I didn't even know there was a
she
plant.
added the plant.
There's
I'm
a.
with
You
you.
didn't notice that? It looks like a palm
with
tree,
you.
like
I'm
a
with
6
you on
foot
the
tree.
plant and
Yeah, I
the
haven't
chair.
seen it.
You know what I thought of immediately? It's a great little podcast setup that they got right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good setup. Lindsay, maybe just kind of trying to add some spice to the office. I think it looks good.
I mean, I think people usually sit in my chair when they're having a conversation with Lindsay, like
Oh.
pre-show and everything. So
yeah.
I think she added that chair as
Did
a nice.
you kick people out of your chair?
No,
like,
I
don't
just-
you dare sit in my chair ever again.
Put a sign on her chair.
Lindsay and
She
I.
put her chair
Barbed
upside
wire.
down. You know, when they
Like a
close
restaurant, they
business,
put them up on the table.
the handles are just jacked up.
Lindsay and I don't cross paths often, just because our shows are so far apart in time, and so usually when I am leaving, we might cross paths a little bit. So no, I've never run into somebody sitting in my chair,
But it
and I don't
looks
care if
nice.
people sit in my chair. Yeah, I mean it looks nice. I just was like, oh, this chair's different, and no, I did not notice the plant at all.
I came through the back door this morning, so
Yeah.
I had not gone by your office without you in it.
Yeah.
And when I walked by, I'm looking at you. I'm having a conversation with you. So the office was empty. I'm like,
I noticed it right away.
me too.
Yeah.
When do we get some chairs?
Yeah.
Look, it's like a lazy boy. It's a nice leather, comfy.
I don't know where she took it from. It must have been in the back somewhere.
it was
But
back.
she's
I think it was back there.
interested in redecorating.
It
So
was in Sam's old office.
Oh,
I helped
yeah,
her-
yeah,
I
yeah,
helped her
yeah.
a little bit.
I said, can we
Go
just
off.
help ourselves?
I think
Just
there's
go
one more in
take
there.
whatever we want. It's empty. It's been picked over.
I think so.
I'm gonna
The
take
carcass
the,
has been picked
I'm
over.
gonna take the Magic Jordan that photo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Remember
cool
that
one.
iconic photo.
Yeah.
still
But we
sitting there?
used to have a fridge in there, like a bigger fridge.
I
I have a
remember
mini
that.
fridge underneath my desk, but there was a bigger fridge. I don't know where that went. But yeah, I came into the office on last Friday and it's like,
They
oh,
just put a
something's different.
stackable washer dryer.
Like the one that goes in the closet.
I could use
Those
some
are
because
stackable.
rad.
the
Those
one
are
in my
great.
house is still broken
I
back
like
from
those.
October.
I like those. So what's the path? Because I watched the Lakers and AD got his eyeball scratched and he left the game, and that was the end of that game. And their defense is bad with AD. Without AD, it was basically a lob line
was
at
a
the
layup
rim.
line.
It was ridiculous. How many times is Draymond going to throw that lob before there's some sort of defensive effort to try to stop it? It's just Curry cuts, Draymond rolls, give it to Draymond. Draymond lobs it to the rim. Bam. They only ran it about 38 times against the Lakers.
How about Draymond's passes to Steph? How about Draymond's passes on the back doors?
So tell me the
Draymond's
path.
on the lobs.
Yeah, tell me the
Okay,
path.
here's the path. Lakers right now are sitting 10th in the Western Conference. All right, so 36 and 32. According to Tankathon, the Lakers have the 9th toughest schedule left in the NBA. If you go look at their schedule, got a lot of winnable games.
Oh, yeah, it's not much.
A lot of winnable
Yeah.
games. This is actually, you could kind of take a deep breath here. The problem is they lost to Sacramento, they lost to Golden State, so they're in the position that they're in. Trev, their path, this is the only shot that they have of making some noise in the playoffs, and all of this has to happen in order for them to be there. Okay? Vando has to be back before the season ends. He just has to. There is no, if you go look at this Lakers team. And
What's his prognosis?
So supposedly towards the end of the month.
Doesn't
that-
leave much time.
It doesn't leave much time. And again, if none of these things happen, then the season's probably going to be over by the time we get to April 20th or whenever the playing tournament's done. Jared Vanderbilt has to be there. He has to be there. All these other guys that are out, to be honest, I don't think the world's going to change. Cam Reddish is going to come back, but the world won't change. Gabe Vincent, to be honest with you, if you've only played 5 games this year,
It's like getting a brand new player that has no familiarity with what you're doing.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
At least Vando, you just kind of know exactly. This guy comes in for one purpose, and that's it. He's going to grab rebounds. It will also take Rui potentially back off the bench because they have no bench right now. Their path is Jared Vanderbilt has to be healthy.
Okay.
Has to be healthy. Their path is just avoid the number 10 spot.
Which they're in right now.
One of the easier schedules left. There's a random team that I really think is just going to keep kind of going backwards. Phoenix has, according to Tankathon, the second toughest schedule left in the NBA. Second toughest. They played Milwaukee yesterday. Giannis was not there. They're getting blown out.
Yeah.
Gave up 80 in the first half.
Yikes.
Okay. The path is Jared Vanderbilt's got to be back. They have to avoid the number 10 spot. And if they can do that, now you're basically asking to win one game at home to put you in a spot to win one game on the road. Okay, I get it. I know that the Lakers aren't exactly a team that you could depend on. I'll still take my chances if Vanderbilt's there that they can have a good enough team to win one game at home, one game on the road. The Denver Nuggets lost yesterday. Something to keep in mind here, okay? Denver Nuggets lost yesterday to Dallas. That's the Luka shot or the Kyrie shot.
We're going to spend some time talking about that later on because I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that before. That was stupid.
You're trying to just avoid the Denver Nuggets as long as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. OKC's the number one team right now in the Western Conference. The only chance that the Lakers have, not, hey, if one of these goes, the only chance that the Lakers have, in my opinion, of making any type of noise, Vando comes back, you avoid the number 10 spot, and you get the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. That's basically the only shot that you got. Because if...
That's so funny to think of, and it need to be
it has to
OKC
be all of this.
At the number one spot. You're hunting the number one seed.
You're hunting the number one seed, and again, I go back. If they're 10, they're not getting out of the play-in. And I'm also talking about that you can't be number 10
because you have to win 2 road games.
You have to win 2 road games, and frankly, this team is already all over the place. To ask them to win 2 road games, I don't think that's going to happen. You need about 3 or 4 things to go your way to just try to get into some type of rhythm and potentially make some noise. I don't think if any of those things happen, it is funny.
It just makes you laugh. They need 3 or 4 things to get to the first round where they can play a series. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
You're the Lakers.
But it doesn't matter if you're the Lakers. But it doesn't matter if you're the Lakers. This is what we've watched. Take the name the Lakers out of it. This is the product that you have.
Yeah.
This is who you have.
Yeah.
So that's the path. If they're going to go make some noise, we just need to hit a few different lottery pieces.
The problem with your plan is, and you sold me on it, but I don't know if they're good enough to do the first part of the plan. Vanderbilt will either come back or he won't. Yeah. If he doesn't, I agree with you.
He's an important
He's
piece.
incredibly important because he's, other than Anthony Davis, he's the only person on your team that's going to give you a consistent defensive performance.
Yep.
LeBron can kind of pick his spots here and there, but
he's a specialist on the side that the Lakers have now all of a sudden have refused to play.
You're going to need LeBron to be A-plus LeBron offensively, which means you're going to get not much from him defensively. That's just the fact of having a guy that's in his 21st season. He can't give it to you on both ends every single night. Fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. When you watch them play, they're so flawed in so many ways that not only can they have to what you're talking about, where avoid the 10, which they probably will because of their schedule. They're going to win some games and probably crawl out of it.
They'll probably lose games we thought they were supposed to win.
Of course they will because that's who they are.
Yeah.
So they're not going to crawl up to the 8. I think that their most likely spot is the 9. So do they win that game? Yeah, sure. Can they? Yeah, but you better hope that something weird doesn't happen, like AD gets hurt again or misses some time, or you have a bad night where he has one of those clunker nights. The problem after that is they're just not as good as the other teams that are in there. I know that they've beaten Oklahoma City. I know that they've had a pretty good record against Phoenix this season, and Phoenix is going the wrong way, like you mentioned. But when you just watch them play, there's just too many problems, right? That they don't defend the 3. They don't defend, period. When LeBron makes 3s, they got a chance. When LeBron doesn't, they're kind of cooked before
D'Lo has to go off.
D'Lo has to go off. You got to, quite frankly, let's be honest, you better hope it's not a close game. They're not very good at that, right? They're not very good when it comes down to executing and getting plays and getting good shots and making good decisions at the end of games, because they just seem to be a little out of sorts at the end of games. And I think that's a direct reflection of Darvin. He just does not seem to have a real good feel for how to execute those at the end of games. He just doesn't.
He's coaching for his job.
No question about it. If they
this next 30 days will determine
if they
his job.
lose the 9-10, or even if they win 9-10 and lose the 7-8, he's gone. If they get beat in the first round, and I really think it doesn't even if he went 7 games against the number 1 seed, it's like I don't know. Like what are we doing here?
Okay, I'll tell you the only scenario I see if it's Denver and it's a good series. It's the only one.
To do what? To come back and try it again a third year in a row and hope you don't run into the Nuggets?
But doesn't that sound like the only scenario?
I don't think that would make a difference. I think that it's literally you're going to have to go on a real run, not a hey if A then B then B then C then C then D then D. It's most. Do you get to the conference finals again?
Okay, what if you got this is so stupid to run these, but let's say you got the Thunder in the first round, you beat the Thunder in the first round.
Maybe that lets him wiggle off the hook a little bit. But I agree with you. He's fighting for his job. That if one of these things does not fire,
you just need 5 of 5 on the things I put out there.
If one of those things doesn't fire, you're in deep trouble.
It's so delusional. It's so delusional, and I admire your optimism, but it's just like it's
not even optimism.
Happen.
I'm just telling you that all these need to happen in order for them to do anything.
Here's Charles Barkley's response to all of this.
Our sister network on the idiots on the other network keep talking about the Lakers and the Warriors like they got a chance, but. Listen,
have a chance to call the play-in.
The play-in is not a real thing, just for the record. That's just something we made up, Shaq. It's just like the CBI tournament. That's what the Lakers.
The play-in is just like the CBI tournament is my favorite thing that Charles Barkley has said in a very long time. It's just something we made up. It's like the CBI.
We did make it up.
That's awesome.
We did make it up.
As Laker fans, the play-in has been our bread and butter for the 3 of the last 4 years. It's like this is without it. What are we talking about?
Well, okay. Here's the only thing. Without it, they would have got 7 seeds. This year is the one year where it's basically if you don't have the play-in, your last game's April 14th.
It's been
and their last game might be April 16th or 18th.
I hope AD's eye is better because without him, that was like, oh yeah. We answered the question, who's the most important guy on this team pretty quickly. That didn't take long.
When you saw him, he left at the end of the first quarter. I'm like, that's a wrap. Like, the game's over.
Pretty much.
Of course it is.
Pretty much. KD, LeBron, and Steph, all 3 or 2 of those 3 are not coming out of the play-in. That's next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN.
The most
All right, the NCAA tournament is almost here. Slea and I are in matching shirts. Yep. And you can come hang out with us at the Dine-In Pizza Hut on Magnolia Avenue in Anaheim on March 22nd. There is Dine-In Pizza Hut still out.
Listen, you eat pizza, you hang out with us.
Win.
College basketball going on. We're giving away a 75-inch 4K TV. Of course, we're going to be giving out specials the entire time. Pizza Hut's going to hook everybody up. What's better?
They have menu hacks that we can talk about. Come on out, hang out with us. Pizza Hut in Anaheim, Magnolia Avenue, March 22nd. Don't
miss out.
That.
All right, the madness starts on March the 21st, and we are going to be at the Islands in your neighborhood, Ireland.
This is my personal islands in Manhattan Beach, in Manhattan Village. My son, the great Jack Ireland, will be washing dishes and bussing tables, so he can't get you any free food, but if you need a clean dish, he'll be ready.
Excellent. Well, I will be ready for cheddar fries, dredged in that ranch dressing, my favorite thing at Islands. And all the shows are going to be there. Travis and Sliwa, me and Ireland, and Shadano and Cap on March the 21st.
Games start at 9 o'clock in the morning and run all day and all night. Join us at Islands.
We got an Ask Slea coming up in about 10 minutes from right now. So far, your efforts have been good, not great. Let's just call it what it is. It's good, not great. Some good ones in there, but we
Pick
can
it
use
up.
a few more. So
We know it's Monday, but we know you have been thinking about these all weekend. Come on.
post St. Patrick's Day Monday, right?
Right,
So maybe you're a
exactly.
little slow to get started today. That's fine. But send them to me at Travis Rogers. Send them to M at Emily Hebel. You can send them to Cody as well. Cody, yours has like some random X in it, so
So
I
it's
never
my
remember.
full name except the O is an X.
Okay.
KXDYLUU.
Yeah, I'll never remember that. So find
MySpace.
Cody, find Cody
Exclamation
Lou
point.
on Twitter, and you
Yeah.
can send him to him as well because that X throws me off every time. I'm like, why does Cody
X.
have an X in his name?
For the Python.
for Chuck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Chuck doesn't have an X either. Anyway, it's
Well,
very
you don't know that.
It's a
very
sound
good. Yeah, good point. Good point. Also, it's our first signature event of the year. It's coming up on Saturday. 710's Pickleball Madness. This Saturday, Agape Pickleball Center. That's at Mile Square Park in Fountain Valley. We get going at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go all the way till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Food, drinks, games. There's a fun zone. There are March Madness games all over TV. Plus, you can sign the biggest birthday card in the world. It is Mace's birthday. We're also celebrating Mason and Ireland's 20th anniversary on ESPN LA. So why not RSVP right now for your seat? Go to espnla.com, click the Pickleball Madness logo. Special thanks to Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru a Subaru. And now the love is electric. So, how about that? Electric love.
electric.
Slee. Electric love. Did you do anything for St. Patrick's Day?
So much. Like, I don't even know where. I don't know where to start.
So much green beer.
So much. No, listen, if I was 22 years old, maybe I'd do something at this stage now.
Nothing?
No.
Em, how about you?
I had a lovely beach day.
Which beach?
I went to Zuma, and
Okay.
I got there at like probably 9:30, so I got there pretty early. And then I stayed until about 3:30.
That's a full day.
Yeah, and then I drove home, and I stopped and got some like nice wine, like to treat myself.
Treat
and,
yourself.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just had a lovely day. Finished my book. Had a great day of just some Emily time. It was great.
But not anything St. Patrick's
Not
Day
Irish. I was not reading an Irish book. I was not drinking green beer, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to be in crowded spaces on St. Patrick's Day.
Code,
I
did
thought
you
you'd
and
be like at a festival or something, you know?
Lord, you and Chuck celebrate Lord of the Dance style or something like that?
Chuck is definitely into the green beer. He gets wild on St. Patrick's. It's his favorite holiday.
Yeah, that is a young. Well, you are a young man. I thought maybe you might go out
Well,
and do
I'm
something.
only in high school, so.
Yeah. Did you do anything St. Patrick's Day related?
No, I wore green, but nothing.
Did you
I
ever?
never go
You
ham.
just brought up randomly not randomly, but Lord of the Dance.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I
The
know it's that
Michael-
dancing
the
where they
Michael
don't move their
Flatley?
arms. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. Yes.
Bro, when I was in college.
Did you go see it?
No, I didn't see it. But, yeah, maybe this just could have been times where maybe you drank, maybe you did something else. And then me and my buddy, we were just so, how are they doing this? How are they so in line perfectly? Michael Flatley,
They're
if you guys
professionals.
remember. Yeah, but the dancing was unbelievable. For some reason,
Well,
we thought.
they practice, you know.
I understand that too. It was incredible. You just mentioned Lord of the Dance right away. I'm like, I'm gonna go find my DVD from 2000. I'm gonna crack that thing
me
open
and you on
later.
Saturday. Let's go learn.
I'm in.
You guys should do it.
I had
I'm
some
in.
friends that were into Irish step dancing, and it was just very weird to see them because they had to put the wigs on too, the super curly girl wigs.
Oh, okay.
To do it, and they wear like the whole outfit and everything. It's kind of crazy.
Not really a wig related activity person.
I'll throw one on.
Like, hey, first thing you got to do is you got to put this wig on.
Well,
I
of course
think
you have
I'm out.
wigs, Al, because you're a
throw a
spy. You
fro
have to disguise yourself.
It's like the Americans.
I like on Thursday when I did the show from San Diego. Instantly, you're like, yeah, you're at a location nobody knows. I'm like, I'm
Well,
in San
it's
Diego.
the same. It's curious that it's always just kind of under the radar, just kind of happens, and you just disappear. You never really kind of fill us in on what's going on, and then you come back. You never really bring up anything. It's just so we just kind of just assume that you're off on an assignment.
Slea was in San Diego.
Yeah, all your
Well,
many
that's what
wigs.
you say, but there's never a back. I never see the Coronado Bridge in the background.
No.
I never see Petco Park in the background.
It's just like the Kate
Balboa
Middleton thing.
Park.
We don't have actual proof.
That's
People are
right.
saying they've seen her. They say we've seen Slea. You're in San Diego, but there's no video evidence.
Do us a favor. The next time you're down there on one of your day offs
Yep,
or whatever
yep,
you call it,
yep.
like do a little video where you're walking by Granite Hills High School and
No
just like, hey, here it
doctorate.
is, home of the Eagles, and this is where I am. I'm down here to see my mom and my sisters.
Just
and
says
just kinda hanging out.
7 in the right.
You have a lot of hair.
It has Getty image in the corner.
I'm like, yeah, no, this is me.
This is
a couple
me.
days ago.
I just grew it out for the weekend.
A couple days ago.
No big deal at all. You brought up something this morning that I think is really interesting.
That never happens.
Well, that's why it caught me by surprise. The face of the NBA for the last 10, 12, maybe 15 years, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. You know, Kobe, of course, was a big part of those guys as well. But those have been the guys in the league.
Oh, yeah.
And 4 championships for LeBron, 4 for Curry. Kevin Durant's got a couple as well with Curry, so they don't count nearly as much. Which
attached himself with another really good team.
Yeah, he's like, he's probably listening right
KD.
now. But these have been the guys. The next group of guys are Luka and SGA, Giannis, Jokic, Morant, the guy in Minnesota whose name I'm Jason. Anthony Edwards. Tatum, Wemby, Zion. None of these guys, other than maybe Giannis and Jokic, have really kind of impacted as far as championships go. But this could be the year where it's kind of that inflection point, right? That Steph and LeBron, one of them is going to be out after one game because they're going to play each other, right? Somebody's going to be out.
Or even if Phoenix falls back, it's KD or Bron are out, right? Or KD or Steph is out.
Of the 3 guys, one of them will be out in the first game, right? Of the 3 of them, 2 of them are likely to be out after the play-in round is done sorting itself out. And whoever survives, whether it's Durant, whether it's LeBron, or whether it's Curry, are going to be underdogs in their opening series. They're going to be going into a series where you're not really, at least from a seeding standpoint, they're going to be underdogs. Is this the beginning of the end of that era? Is the next era all those other players we talked about, and are we ready for it? Because when I was watching on Saturday night, LeBron versus Curry is high theater. It's awesome. They're those guys, and every time they play, it feels like it's a big deal.
Even at this stage,
and they're 9-10. Okay, and it's like whatever, but it's high theater.
It's high theater, and it's not that you watch those games. You're like, remember when Bron used to be good? No, he's still pretty good. Hey, remember when Steph used to hit No, Steph's still really, really good. They're still putting up 30-plus points when they're doing it. Let me play off of what you just said. They're all chasing, every single one of them. KD joined the Phoenix Suns, got traded, and joined Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. By the way, they got Yusuf Nurkic, they got Grayson Allen, they got a championship head coach in Frank Vogel, and they're barely hanging on to avoid getting out of the play-in. All right, you got the Golden State Warriors. They just won a championship a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, you can call it. It hasn't been that long since they won it. Wiggins is still there. Clay's still there. Draymond's still there. Steph is still there. Steve Kerr is still there. Okay, they're clearly chasing it. They're not a lock to make anything happen or get out of the plane. And then the Lakers, I don't need to talk about the Lakers trying to hold on for dear life as well. Could this just be, hey, that window, that page, those days of those 3 players specifically, that thing is done.
Yeah.
And
the evidence saying it is.
Here's the thing. One of 2 things can happen. They could all be completely done, or one of those teams can go on a run, and you also wouldn't be surprised or shocked.
It's funny, Al. I would be surprised and shocked at this point. I really, I'm not saying.
What if one of those teams got the Thunder?
I would be really surprised. I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying that one of those teams couldn't win a series, but that to me isn't constituting going on a run when you have Steph Curry, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant. That's not winning a round. Is not going on a run.
Yeah,
not with those guys. Going on a run is getting to the conference finals. None of those teams are going to the conference finals. They're just not. Because they're going to pick each other off along the way, and 2, if those teams were good, they would have had an extended period of time where they look really good, and really none of them have. There's injuries, there's all of this other stuff, and guys, they're just those other teams are better than they are. The Nuggets and the Mavericks and the Pelicans and certainly
Sacramento's beating up teams.
Sacramento and Minnesota and OKC, they're just better. You know how I know? Because they win more games. And look, I get it. On any given night, sure. But at some point, playing 65 games has to account for something. And it just, I don't know. It just feels like it is very, very clearly we've kind of flipped that page to the other side.
9 and 10. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James.
Ask Slea coming up next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN. I got a lot of Silverado high country time this weekend, Slea. Not unlike where Emily was. I was up in Malibu on Saturday for most of the day. Susan and I cruised up there in the high country.
Ooh, very nice.
It was a good deal. And, of course, we got it at Rotolo Chevrolet. So if you've been thinking about that Silverado, if you've been thinking about anything, Chevy cars and trucks, why not go to Rotolo? Because you're going to have unbelievable selection, you're going to have unbelievable pricing, and you are going to have second-to-none customer service. To the tune of 13 years in a row, they've won Dealer of the Year by being transparent, by being courteous, by being upfront, and you know everything that's going on. Have you ever felt that way when you bought a car or truck before? My guess is maybe not. So why not come out to Rotolo Chevrolet, right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You can't miss it. That's where Mike Capozio makes sure that you're the most important person on that lot, because that's exactly what you are to them, and they do it every single day, 13 years in a row. Rotolo Chevrolet. If you can't come in, go online, rotolochevy.com, ROTOLO, rotolochevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you.
Let's get to it. Ask Slea right now.
877-710-ESPN. That's the phone number if you want to do an Ask Slea on the phone, or, of course, you can send it via Twitter, like our pal Chrissy does in the Trav and Slea community. And she writes, Slea, hashtag Ask Slea.
Okay.
When taking a shower, do you face towards or away from the shower head?
Towards the shower head.
It's hitting you in the chest.
Really?
And in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have hair like where I have to get back
But I just
and
get
do my thing.
I get stuff in my eyes. Like I get
No, I mean, but I don't have like the
face
shower
it.
head directly hitting me in the pupils. I have the head down a little bit. Head's down
Like
a
hitting
little.
in the chest.
Hit in the chest.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the way our shower is behind, if I'm facing the shower head, behind me is where the shampoo is going to be and the soap and everything else. Okay, so everything's going to be there. So I'm going to have to turn around and get what I need, but I'm always facing the shower.
So, okay.
Chrissy, that's a great question.
It's a great question, and I started thinking about it when I read it. It depends on what I'm washing
Well,
at the time.
well, that happens,
right?
of course. I mean, there's times where I'm spinning around.
But I think the vast majority of it, I'm facing away from it.
Same. I thought people only faced the shower in movies because it was cinematic. Like, I hadn't even thought about the idea of facing the shower while I take a shower.
No,
sometimes you have
to.
Sometimes you have to box out, right? So sometimes you gotta turn around to box out, cleaning off some certain areas.
My body, I'm facing away from it. If I'm doing my face and my hair, I'm facing towards it.
Sometimes I'm
like, that's even worse because then you're getting the. So if you're facing the shower while you're doing your hair in your face,
system
you're getting your. Wouldn't you get stuff in your eyes?
No, I lather my hands, I wash my face, I stick my face in the water.
Sometimes I go side and I'm just facing the glass, like my nose is hitting our slide.
And then when I do my hair, because when I stand up, I'm taller than the shower head, so it's not hitting me in the head unless I aimed it.
But
up.
but then to wash your hair, you put your head in like that.
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah,
I don't know why that just annoys me so much, but the idea that you're
you want him to squat?
dipping your head in like this. No, turn your back so it doesn't get in your eyes.
I only turn my back when I'm washing my body.
Yeah, but don't you close
Makes
your
no
eyes?
sense.
No, it makes that. Don't you just close your eyes?
You can close your eyes and things still get in your eyes.
I haven't had that issue. I think something happened to you as a kid where they told you got to do it this way, and you're still doing it that way.
I get soap in my eyes all the time, especially if by accident.
I had soap in my eyes since I was like 8.
Yeah, that's not an issue for me either.
Yeah.
I'm able to
fantastic.
avoid it.
But it's also because I did have it happen in 8, and since 8,
it does sting
I've
a little
been
bit.
very, very
diligent.
It's the only thing
I can hear you in the shower going, ah! I got a little, coast in my eye.
Also, the way that men wash their face is so crazy to me. You guys just like.
Yeah, we don't wash our face. We just literally, it takes 1.4 seconds, and then we're
do
done.
it the proper way. You do it in the way that your blood flow should go. Sorry,
What?
I hit that
Do you
again.
not know we're not idiots? Do you not know that?
Slea, this is.
No, Michelle's the same way.
I take the bar soap. I get a lather in my hands. Put the bar soap back in the little tray.
Yep.
I go scrub my face for.
That's
3
so
seconds.
insane.
That's already
That's
twice as
insane.
much as I go.
And then I make sure I get back here behind my jawline, and that's it. And then rinse it off. That's it. Wait.
We move on.
And
Move on after that.
And that's just why it's like there's a thing on TikTok of like women critiquing how their boyfriends or husbands like just go insane and wash their face in such a crazy way.
No,
didn't know it was complicated.
You're supposed to do it in a certain way. Anyway.
We're idiots.
What do you got him?
All right, so mine's from Cat from Whittier, and he asks, would you rather ride a bull at a rodeo, bungee jump off a bridge, or jump off the side of a cliff into a lake? So options are ride a bull,
God.
bungee jump, or jump off the side of a cliff into a lake.
Bungee jump really scares me. That, and I've gone skydiving before, but the bungee jump, that one, I can't comprehend doing that one. So that's going to be number 3. So now it's jumping off a cliff into a lake or riding a bull. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump off that cliff.
So how
into a
high
lake.
up in the air does it need to be to constitute a cliff? Give me a number.
I have a hard time conceptualizing.
Well,
how
a
Probably gotta be
basketball
like
hoop's 10 feet.
4 or 5 stories. Let's say 4 stories.
So that's 50 feet.
All right,
not
let's
that
go
you
like
would not get
30.
injured. You wouldn't get injured by the impact, but
Yeah.
it's still high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go jumping off the cliff.
That's the right answer. Because I jumped off when we were in Montana on a vacation. We were doing some whitewater rafting, and they kind of put the boat in the side, and you climb out, and you get on these big rocks, and you jump into the river. And those rocks were maybe 15 feet in the air, and it felt like a mile up.
Oh, yeah.
It's so high. Super fun, but very, very scary. The jumping into the lake is the best way to do it.
They're just people that do the high dives, all that, when they're on the platforms.
No chance. Code.
Guy they call Mario over on Twitter asks, who do you think can come in and hit a game winner for their school? You, Travis, or Emily?
Definitely not me.
A game winner in what?
So
Basketball?
I'm assuming just taking a jumper. I got to go with Slea. I got to go with myself on this. I have to. Like, this is my one area that I have to hit the shot. That's the only area that I feel pretty confident in that just let me at least take the jumper. There's a good chance.
Well, what type?
About a 40% chance.
You're
going to take one of those running left-handed 20-foot sidearm hook shots like Kyrie?
I need to be, we said, I gave the kind of example of the Lakers. They need all these 5 things to go right. I need to be top of the key. I need the defense sagging. Okay, there's a lot of things that need to happen.
You need a triple screen to come off of?
I need my coach to tell me right before, I believe in you. Like, I need a lot of things.
A little emotional support. Yeah. Why not? Those are good. We got some more Ask Slees coming up in a little bit.
That's fun.
I want to go to baseball in Korea. That looks like a lot of fun. I am all in. That's next. It's coming up. It's Trav and Slea, 710 ESPN.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC! It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcast.
Join us. Gen ESPN.
All right, don't miss us this week. Travis and Sliwa show in the city of Anaheim for Madness Friday. This Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Pizza Hut in Anaheim, 301 South Magnolia Avenue. Come out for a chance to win a 75-inch TV from our friends over at Mirror Audio Video in Westwood. Nothing but TVs to watch the games at Pizza Hut, plus happy hour specials starting at 10 a.m., $1 off pints of beer, $2 off pitchers, half-price apps, the $9 express lunch deal, and more. Pizza Hut in Anaheim this Friday. Let me make this a little bit more simple. Come kick it with us this Friday. We're going to be doing our show in Anaheim, eat some pizza, drink some beers, watch some college basketball. Yep. I don't think we're asking for much. Come hang out with us. Pizza Hut, no one out. Pizza's the Hut.
And the Aztecs are on while we're on the air, so we could watch you live and die with every make and miss.
It'll be amazing.
You're going to be like Emily when
no, I'm not. I don't want to be like Emily last year.
Drop to your knees and have your hands
Maybe
in
that
your
shot will
face.
rim out, and you'll be elated that you've advanced to the next round. UAB.
UAB.
But the thing is, maybe you can't even help it. I didn't plan to do that. That's not how I wanted to act. It just kind of happens to you if you're ride or die with your team.
And
so if you want to see Slea, either crumble or be excited, you got to be a Pizza Hut.
No, I'm not going to show any emotion. Freaking the worst at these. I'm the worst at these.
You are an emotionless robot.
No, there's certain things I got emotion in.
I don't think that anybody would describe you as an emotional man, though. That's not how you're.
No, I'm not. I'm very
You're
even
like
keel.
Spock. You're like a Vulcan.
You're like, why would you get so upset about how people shower? If it's not your shower, then why do you care? And then I get passionate.
Sporting, there are things that
crazy, passionate. There's a fine line.
Sporting, there are things that get me.
I mean, it says it to you right there. I said that to you with a straight face, and you just said, "Yeah."
Yeah, no,
Yep.
there's definitely that. Yeah,
there's definitely how this is.
Highs and the lows.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Half of the Burgacy in here right now.
Yeah, the Burgacy.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? Because you were talking about the KVO. And
wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
They play the game. It's not just. There's a lot of parts of the world that play the game a lot different than the way baseball's played here.
Throwing at the first pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
CT3 was all about that.
And he was not the only one.
Like the whole dugout.
As someone who has thrown out a first pitch in a Major League Baseball game, I can attest the only people that are paying attention are the one or two people that are there to see you do that.
Yeah,
like your
family.
dad, your brother, your wife, right? No one else is paying attention. The Dodgers were watching that woman who threw out the first pitch at their game yesterday.
Like it was Kershaw, Game 7 on the mound.
Right.
Yes.
They're all on.
Like
Knees up.
Randy Johnson's up there to try and get a scouting report like that ball break late or early. They were so
I don't think it was that.
in.
I think it was Randy Johnson was 2 outs away from a perfect game.
Yes, that's even better. That's even better. She was very beautiful.
She was.
And she was also playing it up as best as she could, and it was working. The Dodgers were fully aware of her presence on that mound. And then you got cheerleaders on dugouts. You got drums going. You've got singing and dancing. And look, I'm a baseball guy, and I'm not a traditionalist. I'm not an old head. But I like baseball because I like baseball, and I don't need all the other stuff around it. That was awesome.
Yep.
Everybody looked like they were having the time of their life.
See, what's amazing about that, too, is when she threw out the first pitch, the highlights that you saw from the first pitch, you don't actually see the pitch.
You don't see the pitch.
You don't know if it got across, if it went wide left, wide
Who
right.
cares?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. I think that's what the amazing thing is. Like, you see her throw, and then it shoots right
It's not
over
50
to
Cent
CT.
who's throwing it into the dugout. It's like are you even sure she threw the ball?
I don't know.
I have
no idea if she did or not.
That's all I walked away from. That's all I walked away. I'm like,
That's the
we
only
actually
thing you
never
walked away
saw
from?
the pitch.
Yeah.
I never actually saw the pitch come.
Also, with the
Everything.
videos I've seen of like the Korean dancers like on like the dugout tops, I haven't seen the play going on. I just see the Korean cheerleaders. I guess is that what you call them?
Cheerleaders, right?
Dance team.
Yeah,
something like
dance
that.
team.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if this were late September and you're in a pennant race, it's like, hey, can you sit down, please? But now in an exhibition game that who cares? Dodgers are getting ready to play a couple of games that actually matter here in a minute. I couldn't get enough of it. And the ballpark was packed. The vibe was terrific. There wasn't anything about that. I'm like, that's kind of silly. I loved it.
No, the whole thing about it was great, and that's what it should be in the United States. Basically, sports is an entertainment product, right? Like we're supposed to be entertained. Jerry Buss knew that better than everybody and made the Laker girls. And the Mets.
Yeah, but this is not a baseball thing. This is your fan base has to be that interactive as well. Like if
it happened here, I'm sure it would work.
But Major League
the Mets
Baseball
are doing it this year.
They're
the Mets
doing
have a dance team.
cheerleaders.
Yeah, they have a dance team.
The Angels a million years ago, they didn't do like a dance team, but they had like a spirit squad or something like that, where they had like T-shirt cannons and people on dugouts kind of, waving their arms around and dancing. And it was met with pretty much universal derision. Everybody's like, get that out of here.
Baseball fans are stupid.
But I wonder
that's
if you
the point.
tried. But this was 25 years ago. Like, I wonder if you ran it back. And look, if the Yankees did it, there'd be a riot in the streets. If the Dodgers did it, it'd be like, okay, come on. But if you're a goofball team like the Rays, what's the harm? Yeah. What's the harm?
What is that supposed to mean?
Specifically the Padres.
Win a playoff round.
Hey.
I just I don't know. I like how baseball, the entertainment thing at the games is already. I kind of like chillaxing. I kind of like laying back. I don't need to be like super hard into it. All I care about is the hot dog and the beer, and then until like October. I'm locked in.
The only thing I would say is one of the things I took away when I said I went to Japan, I was at the Tokyo Dome. One of the things I really, really did like, and I don't know how baseball would do this, but I love that you had a contingent of the opposing team all in one section. That area was loud when their people were up to bat. That
stuck with you.
Yeah, it did because I think
was it split half.
No. It added to the atmosphere. It would be the equivalent of, let's say, left field where the Dodgers are. Mm-hmm. That section of left field, not a huge section.
All Giants fans when the Giants come to town.
Just the opposing team. And then when you go up to San Francisco, that section is just Dodger fans, and they're actually selling their merchandise, so they would sell it. I was mentioning this to
you
Trav.
guys have met Americans before, right?
How so? What do you mean?
We're awful. Well, we're rude. We're nasty. We're not respectful like the Japanese culture. We don't have that level of, okay, you guys can very peacefully do your thing over here.
Yeah, but those fans are coming anyways.
What about LA?
I know, and that's why you have fights in the parking lots.
But they're
people
mixed,
are throwing beers.
Isn't it better you put them in one section than mix them?
So they're easier to hit? I mean,
that's a good point.
But
we're animals.
We are idiots.
We don't do things like that.
But Trev, LAFC and 3252, they do all that. I mean, it's
but
soccer,
that's
so
their,
it's different.
but that's their own people.
That's their own people. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right. What you're not doing is having
the
section
Rose Bowl for UCLA. They have a section.
Look,
that's
anybody
just
that goes to UCLA football is welcome. Right. They just want live. They just want live warm
college
bodies.
does have a little bit of that.
College does have that. Like, it's the opposing fan is all in one specific section.
We're not well behaved enough. We don't control ourselves well enough. There's a reason there's a cop every 8 feet at every sporting event. It's not because we're super nice to each other.
Yeah,
we don't have that gear.
I want to believe
we can't have nice things.
No, we can't. Let me cut you off at the pass. We absolutely can't do it.
Come on, our people.
I don't know
what's going on.
I don't know. Somebody's calling me right now.
Okay, question.
Answer it.
You asked about the. Are you getting an Apple Watch? Is that what you're doing?
I love it.
I went and looked at him yesterday. I've never had one. I'm a Apple product devotee. Like I have a laptop. I've got a phone, obviously.
The cult of Apple.
Yes, I am a full. I drink the Kool-Aid. So I think I want one. I was a little struck by the price points. I'm not going to lie.
So it depends on which one you're getting. It's like $300-400. It's going to be
not the one that I liked. It wasn't.
So yours is going to be like $800. So,
I get you a 2019 one.
We can get you a refurbished.
I got a 2019 one that's only been worn 180 times.
Will I like it?
So no,
from your jacket guy?
I like it, especially now, Trav, since you're going on walks and you're doing a whole
6.3 miles yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll keep track of all that stuff.
14,000 steps. What else do you want to
know?
I like the fact that I don't need to be near my phone at all times, and I don't have to look at my phone all the time. So if I get a text and it comes through, I can just look at it and see who it is, and I can put my arm down.
Okay, that probably won't be a huge feature for me simply because I can't see that watch. Because when I work out,
you're not reading it. You're just seeing who actually texts you. You don't go back. You don't go read it. You can wait till you get to your phone.
But if I'm not going to respond to it or read it, then why do I need to even know that it's there? If I'm out and about.
But I like to know because if I get a text or if I get an email and it's like, oh wait, that's an important email, so I'll go and check my phone.
When you're working out, typically they put on Do Not Disturb for you, so like you won't get all these things coming in if you want. So when you're working out, you can just have that.
Workout may be a bit of a misnomer.
Well,
I take a longer stroll.
As you're walking.
I got sweaty yesterday. It was a big day.
It'll cut everything off. It will cut everything off while you're walking.
But I can change the setting that I want it to keep coming through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can change settings. I like it. I think you'll like it too.
Are you a watch guy?
Like it.
I was a watch guy when I was young. Then I didn't wear a watch for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm wearing this, and I really like it.
I have an aggressive watch tan now. It's like really bad.
I wore a watch every day of my adult life from the time I graduated college until about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then they just kind of stopped putting it on.
Yeah, I don't
have my phone
care.
in my pocket.
I'm with you. I don't care to have watches on.
But I like watches. I just stopped doing it because I stopped doing it and just kind of fell out of the habit. I think I'm going to do it. I don't know.
You should. Have to look, I just got a
skip
text.
martinis for 6 months.
No, don't do that. We can go get a martini. But I just got a text. I looked at it. I saw who it was, and I said, okay, my phone doesn't light up, so that doesn't annoy other people by lighting up. I think it's great.
So back to Korea for a second. The news that Ohtani is going to begin his throwing program when he comes back to the States was news. And what was it, Al? a month or so ago where he showed up again. Oh, he's got a first baseman's glove. He's got a outfielder's glove. Yeah, okay, guys, I'm sure he has gloves in his bag. I'm sure that if he needed to in a pinch, he could go stand over at first base and catch a ground ball. I think he could do it. But I'm here to take just about anybody's action that wants to do it on Shohei Ohtani plays a position in the field that's not pitcher this season. It's just not going to happen.
No.
There's no – for who? For what?
No, there's no reason for it to happen. It's not going to happen. I think it's just to say that if he needs to, if something happens, someone goes down, and we need his services, he will be ready to go out there.
But it only – I'll just say this, and Em, I think you brought up this point earlier, which is a good point. We didn't just randomly bring this up. This is Dave Roberts talking about it.
And I don't have a good reason why.
I think
that
that's the only part of the only reason why it's a conversation. I'll read his quote. He says, once we get back to the States, he's going to start his throwing program, which he hasn't started yet. We'll see how that progression goes. If his arm is healthy enough, we'll have that conversation in the field. I do know he's not going to pitch this year. I mean, this isn't a conversation until somebody makes it a conversation, and I think that's the only reason why it has become a dialogue.
I would just love to be the fly on the wall when there's a runner at second base, winning run at second base. Shohei Ohtani's playing right field because, hey, won't this be fun? And he comes up to uncork and throw a guy out at home plate, and now we're on Tommy John number 3.
So is he?
It's like why would we do this?
Does he just not? Tommy John does he not just address this by saying, guys, he's here to DH this year, and then we're done?
But this could be one of those things where it's just like I never close a door because then you can't reopen it.
Right.
So just like, hey, look, we're gonna get him as healthy as we possibly can. We can't wait for him to pitch. Anything else, we'll deal with it when the time comes up.
And look, Shohei wants to be a team player. He's letting you know, like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to help this team win and win a World Series. If that means I got to go play left field, center field, right field, and just switch out in every inning, I'm going to go do that. He doesn't want to. He shouldn't do it, and he probably won't. But he is available to do it.
What does he do on Wednesday morning, our time? Like, what does he get a hit? Does he hit a home run? Does he put on a show? We're going to get into that next. It's coming up. It's Trav and Slea, 710 ESPN.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
This is why we can't have these spaces at American sporting events, because everyone will fight in the stands.
Yes. Look, I wish we didn't. I wish we were all respectful and kind and courteous to one another, but it's not our strong suit.
We're an angry people.
It's not our strong suit. We tend to get a little territorial. We tend to get a little aggressive and toss in lots and lots
You're
of
right,
alcohol.
And I can't tell you how much I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of the worst things when, and I listen, this is
USA. USA.
This football games where it's like, and I listen, we all kind of grew up on this because Chargers, Raiders, all that stuff.
You told that story about when you pulled down the wrong aisle to park your car.
But when I see some of that, especially in NFL games, I'm like, well, this is good. Yeah, this is a great look for our society.
The alcohol mixed with aggression, mixed with all that stuff.
All right, then start selling weed at the games.
Yeah.
I think they can bring it in, right? I mean, I've been to a Dodger game.
Clippers is going to have a smoking section, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
We already have one. It's called LA Live.
That's right.
Just kind of go.
Crypto has a smoking section behind our broadcast. I don't know how many games I've walked out of there, and I'm like, that's like a hot box here.
Let's try a phone call. Oh, this is one of our Trav and Slea All-Stars.
Okay.
All the way from New York City, Capitano Matt. What's up, Matt?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Long-time caller, first-time listener. I am here on my fact-finding mission to disprove Emily's theory that scooped bagels are acceptable.
Okay.
I think they're not acceptable.
I so far I have, because I've only been in town for about an hour, so I've only been able to contact one person who said, who gave me a resounding, "Who cares?"
Amazing.
Emily, you should appreciate the "who cares" response. That's kind of your motto.
Sure, yeah. Who cares? I actually care deeply. I am not someone who really feels who cares. I care very deeply. So, did you ask? You asked somebody if they would give you a scooped bagel?
Well, on a personal level, I like mine toasted. I don't like them scooped. I like the bread. I like the calories.
Right.
You've met me. I need to maintain this pear-shaped figure.
It takes a lot of work, Matt.
It does.
You're resilient.
Also in New York, they don't like you asking for a toasted bagel either. They like just the plain old bagel. They will toast occasionally, but they might give you a dirty look.
Did you get any side-eye with your order?
Absolutely zero side-eye with my order.
Well, congratulations. You had a nice New Yorker.
How long are you in town, Matt, and how much research do you plan on doing on this topic?
I plan on several bagels a day, mixed in with a few slices and a couple of dirty water dogs between now and Friday.
Very nice.
Well, Matt, if it's not too much to ask, how about a little running total of how this goes? And you can check in with us a couple of times this week and give us the reviews of your slices, your dirty water dogs, and your scoop bagels.
And I'll continue to send photos.
Done.
Amazing.
All right, thank you.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Matt.
The reason why the bagels are so much better in New York is because of the water.
That's what I've heard.
The water is
Pizza
why
dough, too,
the pizza's
right?
good, why
Yeah.
the hot dogs are good, and because they filter it differently. Like you can have just tap water in New York City, and it's great.
I have
they
tap
filter it
water
differently.
here all the time.
Oh yeah.
Right out of the sink there?
Ugh.
Doesn't matter what it is. I could be in the shower, full.
Just open your mouth.
Full glass of
I
water.
drink tap water every day. Should I not be doing that?
Don't do that.
Why?
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
You don't have like
Why?
Just get
Arrowhead,
a Brita filter.
Kirkland?
You're
Yeah,
good.
there's some toxic.
Just get a filter.
Brita.
But then I'd have to go to the fridge and open the fridge. I just can turn on the faucet, fill my glass, and drink my
Well,
water.
You've lived this long, so I think
Get,
you're doing
get
fine.
right next to it. You got that filter that you can get
Yeah, it
installed
seems
there.
like a lot of work. Like, I mean, am I
it's different in your
am I
area.
poisoning myself? Should I not be doing this?
You should not be doing that.
Why?
I don't know. Google it.
What am I going to get? Am I gonna-
Toxins?
Go on Twitter.
Yeah, but
You'll
like,
find out.
okay, but the toxins, I mean, look, we live in LA. The air is toxic.
Sure.
It's like I'm just kind of doubling down at this
Again,
point, right?
you've lived this long.
That's right.
Go off,
I'm gonna
King.
keep-
Do your
I'm-
own life.
Thank you, Emily. So what does Shohei do? We got basically a day until they play, right? They
Yeah.
play in the middle of the night, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. our time. By the time we're on the air on Wednesday, they'll have played the first game. Are we talking about, I can't believe Shohei Ohtani in his debut did that, or it's, guys, it's one game, everybody relax. Who cares if he didn't get a hit?
Darvish probably strikes him out 4 times. Goes 0 for 4. Padres win 5-1.
If he struck out 4 times, people would be losing their minds.
I think it's kind of tough with him because my knee-jerk reaction is he goes 1 for 4.
It's a normal hit.
Yeah, just,
Does he
you know,
put one over the fence.
Gets a single or gets a double, something
Okay.
along those lines. Probably gets on and steals a base, and
Okay.
it's a good day at the office. But for him, you know, the
1
expectations.
for 4 with a hit and nothing.
Not a good day at the office, but it's like, okay, hey,
It's whatever.
It's a game. It's
whatever.
Let's keep
Walker
going.
Buell will be asked about it all day.
Yeah, there you go. Bueller would love to talk about it. But I think for him, and you said this before, there's certain athletes, that's why you got to pause on him. You have to pause on him because certain athletes in big moments when everybody's watching, they don't just have regular games. You know, and if I let me go back to Saturday for a quick second. Nationally televised game, LeBron's putting up 40, Steph Curry's having an unbelievable night. That's just what these guys do on the biggest stage. Patrick Mahomes is not going to be the same player probably on a Thursday night that he is at a 10 a.m. game in Denver that's not nationally televised. I'm not telling you he's not going to ball out. I'm not telling you they're not going to win the game. But certain players take their game to another
There's
level.
no question about it.
Shohei Ohtani, I don't have to tell you, nobody has to say anything. We know that Shohei knows the moment. This is the first time that he's playing in a regular season game.
On a real team.
On a real team, representing the Dodgers and doing it in Seoul, Korea, of all places, which is, you know, such a cool international preview for everyone to get ready for the Major League Baseball season. So I think with that in mind, I think he does have one of those nights. And I'm not saying he's going to go 4 for 4, 3 for 4, but probably goes 2 for 4. I don't know if he jacks one, but he definitely has an influence in the game and probably gets an RBI as well.
I think so. He said something coming into the series or the real games while he's been around. He hasn't done much in the exhibition games. He's been pretty quiet so far through the 2 exhibition games, but he's obviously the biggest star over there. He's the one that everybody's talking about. And from what I was reading, his relationship with the people of Korea is very positive. Like they like him a lot. Like apparently they hate Ichiro Suzuki's guts because he said something disparaging about them in the WBC, and they've never forgiven him about him, and they hate him, and they love Ohtani. So he's a fan favorite to begin with. Like you said, Al, he's a master of knowing the moment. Now, he hasn't had a ton of them because he played on a team that didn't play in a ton of important games,
Right.
but all-star games, WBCs, even oddly like home run derbies, he's been able to show up and kind of do this stuff. He said, coming into this, I hope I can put on a show. That's not a thing you say that's, I hope we win the game. I hope that we play really well. I hope that our performance. I hope I can put on a show for the people of Korea because this is a big deal. And that he's aware of it, that he speaks of it, and that he's comfortable saying it, I think is what you're talking about. Just this, guys, Kobe Bryant did not have to be told that something was a big deal. He knew it, and he would show up and do it. Steph Curry, LeBron James, these guys, they're able to do that, right?
Jordan at the Madison Square Garden.
All of
They're
them.
not all the same.
They know how to rise to that moment. Shohei Ohtani, first spring training game, the most meaningless thing in the world, pop, he hits one, right? And he's trying to put on the show, and he's capable of managing that emotional, that difference between, all right, this isn't that bad, and I'm going to try a little more here. Because a lot of us, when we try a little harder, it gets worse. I don't think he's one of those guys. I think when he dials it up, it actually gets a little bit better. And I don't want to say he'll do 2 for 4, or he'll steal a base, or he'll hit a home. Here's my prediction for what happens in those 2 games on Wednesday and Thursday mornings. There's going to be one, if not more than one. Did you see that? There's going to be one of those. Maybe it's a game-winning hit. Maybe it's a long home run. Maybe it's going first to third. But it's going to be one of those. Did you see him do that? That's the thing that I'm most excited to see from him in these next couple of games.
I think he's going to have, and I think right now, because this is the first time that it's the first regular season game. Now it's weird, right? Because this is not a Dodger Stadium, or it's not on the road. There's going to be a lot of moments for Shohei to. He's going to know when the moment is big. So his first at-bat at Dodger Stadium on Thursday, March 28th against the Cardinals, it's a big moment.
Sure.
Right? So that first day that he's doing it, this is going to sound kind of...
But think about it. He's closer to home in Korea than he is in Los Angeles.
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of people there that are rooting for him like they are in Los Angeles. There's some buzz in this.
Okay. His first, again... Saturday night game at Dodger Stadium. That's going to be a little unique. When they play the Yankees, or when they play the Red Sox, or when they play the Cubbies, and it's the first time he goes on the road to go play, he's going to have moments where he's just going to feel this is big, and obviously it doesn't get any bigger than Wednesday.
Factor Cap is coming up next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN. Slea Prize Picks is fun.
Yeah.
It is awesome, and over 3 million people agree with us. That's why it's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in all of North America. Yeah, 3 million. Not a bad number at all. Here's why. It's easy. You pick between 2 and 6 players. You choose between more or less on their statistical projections, and if you hit, you can win big.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do, Trav. So Lakers obviously got the Hawks tonight. Remember when DeJounte Murray was mentioned about 875 times?
I do.
I'm going to put DeJounte Murray more or less than 25.5 points against the Lakers. I'm going to go less on that one. I'm going to go a little bit less. Okay, if I'm going to do DeJounte,
he's not going to show up.
I might as well do D'Angelo Russell as well. D'Angelo Russell more or less than 17.5 points. I'm going to go less on that one as well. I want you guys to use our code so you could take advantage. Download the app today. Use the code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Takes about 60 seconds to play. Get on Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
This.
All right, Parker.
What's up, Greg?
Spring training. All right, Parker.
Jeez. Little Ohtani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, why are you looking at the camera?
I don't know. Let's start over. All right, Parker. Dodger spring training.
That's right, Greg. Ohtani and Dodger blue.
Yeah, Yamamoto's here. Pretty excited about that one.
Tons of new faces. I mean, Kike's back.
Yes, it's great. Maybe we should talk about it on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
I like that idea. What do you say, 9:30, 9:55?
Right, leading right into Travis and Sliwa. Get a couple guests.
Maybe Marcus Grant, Travis Rogers, perhaps?
Yep, just have a bunch of people come in. Maybe Clinton Yates will even find his way in.
Oh, you always want to have the handsome man president right there.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think we should do that. We'll do it every day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9:55 on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to LAX.
Hey, I'm Dave Denholm.
And I'm Mario Rees.
You know us from the LAFC radio broadcasts.
Now we have a new podcast called LAFC Plus, and you can find it on the ESPN LA app.
LAFC Plus brings you all the latest on the black and gold.
Plus, we break down the latest news and interesting stories from around MLS.
For all the news, fun, insight, and everything that is MLS and LAFC, join us on LAFC Plus.
LAFC! It's available on the ESPN LA app and everywhere you get your podcast.
Join us.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, and happy post St. Patrick's Day. Happy 18th of March. The Ides of March went by without any major stabbings on our end, so I think we're all good there too.
Yes.
You're fine to beware.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to start off with this, and I'm going to word this very carefully, okay? So, the Raptors and the Magic played, and two of their players decided to do a jersey swap yesterday. Anthony Black and Grady Dick. Okay, and so at the game, they are going to go to meet to swap jerseys, and Anthony Black at one point was like, we got to get the camera guy over here, and they precariously placed themselves that you can assume what phrase they
Was
formed with their
Anthony's jersey on the left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Anthony's name came first, Grady's name
Yeah, I
came
figured.
second. All right, so the internet obviously had a field day with that, had a great
Yep.
time. One of the greatest moments, I think, in NBA Twitter in a long time. And then people were saying, oh, this social media member for the Orlando Magic is going to get fired for posting this, whatever. And then Orlando Magic played into it, posted a LinkedIn post saying they're looking for a social media manager. So my statement is, no one should be fired for posting this. Travis, fact or cap?
Fact. No, and no one will get fired for posting this. This is an attempt to draw more publicity to something that already got a decent amount of publicity because it's, potentially salacious because of Grady's last name,
And
right?
there's also so many more jersey swaps that we can have with Grady later in the season.
Of course there are.
Yes.
Of course there are. Nobody. This is them attempting to get a second swing out of the news cycle for doing something that was mildly amusing to begin with, and they're trying to get a second bite of the apple.
Al?
Fact, no one's going to get fired, and also nobody's going to get fired because it's not like the Orlando Magic and the Toronto Raptors social media team discussed this before and said, hey, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come this right after the game. We want our two rookies to come in
They
here.
actually might have discussed it.
Yeah, I don't know
You
about
think
that.
so?
I think they
don't know about
discussed
that.
it. I definitely think
the
it is.
players discussed it. I think the players did.
Put it to you this way. Somebody in their social media /marketing/PR department should have thought of that. Honestly, because when are we going to talk about Orlando and Toronto
Right.
otherwise? That's the one time you can kind of put it out there and people are like, and you know, because that's the reaction that joke gets.
Yeah.
You know, is it funny? I guess, but not really.
It's funny.
Creative.
It's funny with some of
In a way.
the things that have been memed out of it.
It's funny, and that's it. But it's like, yeah, I get it. It's an anatomy joke. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Funny Bones over here.
No, but it's I get it. This is humor. I guess is mostly subjective. That lane of humor is completely lost on me. I just don't find it particularly funny.
All right, Cody, what do you think?
For the NBA memes, I'm going to go fact. No one should be fired. In fact, whoever posted that should get a promotion. They brought the Magic and the Raptors into relevancy, so fact.
All right, so next thing. In honor of St. Patrick's Day yesterday, I'm going to celebrate one of our greatest Irishmen, Iowa Debris. So let me explain this long-running joke of Iowa Debris being Irish. So Iowa Debris is the star of The Bear. And she's been in a bunch of other things this year. She was in Bottoms this year, but she's always working. She's incredibly funny. So this happened about March 2023, so last March. She was on the red carpet for South by Southwest, and Banshees of Inisherin had just come out, which is a movie about Irish people. And she had a funny review on Letterboxd regarding that she herself was playing Jenny the Donkey in the movie. And so this is her on the red carpet explaining her role as Jenny the Donkey, which she wasn't, but this is the joke.
For preparing for that, I lived in Ireland for about 4 months,
And I got really in character. I was on all fours for 4 months, and it was really painful, but beautiful as well. And it was probably the most fulfilling part of my career, and I'm so happy for everybody going to the Oscars, even though I deserve the nomination more than anybody else because I was obviously a donkey for 4 months. Oh my God, sorry. I was there. You know what I mean? I slipped back into it.
So she slipped back into it. She's making a joke about it. Okay, so that's a year ago. But now she's been winning a ton of awards for the Bear, and she's been asked about the Republic of Ireland has been tweeting out, like, we're so happy for our native Io Debris, one of our best actresses. So this is her at the Emmys red carpet this past year.
Now you have the whole country of Ireland that has fallen completely and madly in love with you.
Shout out to my people. Shout out to Derry. Shout out to Cork. Shout out to Killarney. Shout out to Dublin.
All right, so she's,
That's funny.
doing it again. And then this is her Critics' Choice Awards speech where she accepted again for the Bear.
To everybody in Boston, Barbados, Nigeria, Ireland in many ways. Thank you so much.
And then when she also hosted SNL, she had a shirt on when she was announcing the musical artist that said Io with a shamrock on it. So she's been playing into this Irishness, and she's been loving it. So it's so great that Io is being embraced by her people. Al, fact or cap?
Fact. Listen, this is it's kind of a cool story. I mean, somebody that can play that type of a role and be that good at what she's doing, and then all of a sudden the actual country that she's trying to, they're embracing her. They're
playing into the joke.
They're playing
having
into
a
the
good
bit
time.
and everything else.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do? Like, what should they say?
She's
this
actually
is
not
BS.
Irish.
Yeah, I
We
think
all
this
know.
is smart. I think it's
Yeah.
creative, and I'm in.
It was so funny yesterday on TikToks and stuff. People were like putting up like decorations for St. Patrick's Day with all of their favorite Irish actors, and like Cillian Murphy, Andrew Scott, Paul Mescal, and then Io Debris. Travis, fact or cap?
Yeah, in fact, I mean, that accent that she can pull off is legit. Now, as an actor, I guess you have that gear in that shot in your tool bag or whatever you want to do it. But that sounded, and far from being for me to be able to distinguish it all that well, but it sounded really good. I get why people might have bought it for half a second. Yeah. Look, anytime everybody agrees that we're all going to pretend to be wrong about something, I always like that.
Yeah,
I always like that.
Yeah, shout out to Killarney. Cody?
Cork?
I'm going to go fact on this. I feel like it's awesome whenever you become a cultural icon in somewhere that you're not even like really from. Like if I was like from LA and I went to Philly and it became a culture icon, I feel like that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's awesome to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, the Irish, like the Republic of Ireland's,
Especially Ireland.
Yeah, film tweeted out when she got nominated for a BAFTA. They're like, shout out to one of our very best, Io Debris.
Homegrown.
Exactly. All right, so as we all know, Chicago every year for St. Patrick's Day puts green dye. I don't even know how they do it, but they make the river that goes to the city green.
Chicago River
green. And all these memes are popping up yesterday. But you feel bad for the fish in the Chicago River on St. Patrick's Day. Cody, fact or cap?
I'm gonna go cap on this one. It's a little change of scenery. Sometimes you don't like blue water. Sometimes you don't like
But
clear
imagine
water.
if you waked up one day and the whole earth was green.
Well, it happens. It's just a bunch of seaweed around. It's all good.
Right. All right, Travis.
No, cap, because I would imagine with the way that we are right now, where everybody's offended by everything all the time, every day, that if there were something genuinely bad about putting that dye in the water that was harmful to the life in the river and the lake, that people would lose their minds about it, so that no one, or at least as far as I can tell, no one seems to be all that bothered by it.
I feel bad in terms of confusion for these fish that just wake up one morning and the whole world is green.
Look, you're barking up the wrong tree when it comes to animal rights with me. It's a fish. They're delicious, and I kind of keep it moving from there. Beyond that, it's not really my concern.
Al?
Fact. This is why we're so different when it comes to animals, okay? I see a dog half a mile away. I'm like, just come over here for a quick second, buddy. Let's have a conversation. Here's my problem with the fish and the green dye, okay? Here's my problem. They don't have a say.
They didn't get asked?
Nobody came to them. Nobody said, hey, what do you think? This is just one day a year that we're doing this. In 2 days, everything's going to be back to normal. They don't have a say in this, and because of that, this is why I'm joining a union in Chicago to try to help.
The fish union.
Yes.
All represented by Glub Glub.
Trying to help.
All right, so in this game,
love fish trap.
over the weekend,
You're right about
delicious.
that. It's delicious.
They're the best.
It's great.
It was conference championship week last week for the men's basketball tournament, and the A10 championship might have had someone, do something a little early. All right, so the A-10 championship was between Duquesne and VCU, and there's about 18 minutes left in this game, in the second half, and this happens.
My goodness, oh my gosh, they got confetti falling right now. Confetti is falling on the floor. They're going to have to stop playing. We can't see our notes. The players.
Is that Kevin Harlan?
Yeah, it is. Confetti is everywhere. Somebody hit the wrong button.
All right, so they should have just ended the game. The game is over. If the confetti goes, the game ends with whatever the score is. Travis, Factor Cap.
I mean, it's what did you say, the A-10?
Yeah.
College basketball?
Yeah.
Who
and
cares?
Also, the person who ended up winning still ended up winning. Like, if they were winning at that point, they were going to win at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to play it out, but I certainly wouldn't have cared. Then once the confetti hits the floor, that should be one of those unwritten rules that you can't bring out the mops and sweep it up or whatever. Fact.
Al?
Fact. They were already down 15. VCU was already down 15 with about 18 minutes left to go in the second half. The game was already over. I don't care if I'm VCU, I'm celebrating too. Like, I'm sheer
down the
confusion.
And it was the right streamer color, too. It was Duquesne colors, not the VCU black and yellow.
I'm confusing everybody. This happens sometimes and doesn't happen often. But I think even at crypto, obviously when the Lakers win, it's the
streamers.
Same thing. It's the streaming, the streamers, a little bit of confetti. Sometimes some of that can just fall. Like one piece can fall or two piece can fall. But I love, by the way, like you mentioned, Harlan on the broadcast. How good was he in that situation? You don't prepare for somebody. That was so seamless and fun.
He's so good at that. Do you guys remember? I think it was a Monday Night Football game. I believe Kevin Harlan is the voice of Monday Night Football on the radio. I think that's
I think you might be right.
That's his job. It was a cat or a squirrel or something where an animal got loose on the field and started running, and he did a play-by-play, like, it cuts back at the 15, back inside at the 10, it's going to go, touchdown. And he just, it was perfect. He's the best.
I remember that game very vividly because it was also the Daniel Jones fall game where he was
all
that open space, and then he just tripped himself. Cody?
I'm going to go Cap, and here's why. The team that was down by a lot, I would have said, keep the confetti on the floor and let's just keep playing. That way the other team has an obstacle.
A little dangerous court.
Exactly.
Speaking of college basketball, do you see what happened in our league, Cody?
Beach State.
Long Beach State won the Big West tournament after firing their coach before the Big West tournament had started, but let the coach remain there, and then they ended up winning the tournament, and now he will be coaching them. I believe they play Arizona in the first round of the tournament.
Dan
Munson
we should talk to him.
Is fired, but still there, going to the tournament for the first time in 12 years.
Do you not have 25 questions for this guy?
He's a good guy. I actually played a round of golf with Dan Munson. We had a great day. Had a really good time together. We share a lot of common interests. We had a good time.
Bring him
good
on.
Guy. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can do it. The Rams lost Aaron Donald on Friday, Slea, and once the shock of losing one of the great players of all time kind of started to fade away, that's when the questions start. That's next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN.
All right, the madness starts on March the 21st, and we are going to be at the Islands in your neighborhood, Ireland.
This is my personal islands in Manhattan Beach, in Manhattan Village. My son, the great Jack Ireland, will be washing dishes and bussing tables, so he can't get you any free food, but if you need a clean dish, he'll be ready.
Excellent. Well, I will be ready for cheddar fries, dredged in that ranch dressing, my favorite thing at Islands. And all the shows are going to be there. Travis and Sliwa, me and Ireland, and Shadano and Cap on March the 21st.
Games start at 9 o'clock in the morning and run all day and all night. Join us at Islands.
Don't forget, the madness is here. Be sure to spend the first official day of the tournament with the whole crew of 710 ESPN. That is this Thursday. It's an all-day live broadcast at the Island Restaurant in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, yeah.
3200 North Sepulveda Boulevard inside Manhattan Village. It starts at 10 a.m. with our show, Slea, then Mason and Ireland, then Sedano and Cap until 7 o'clock at night. Come on out, press the flesh with us, watch all the hoops, and have your chance to win great prizes. 710 hits the South Bay Thursday, thanks to Islands Restaurants, your local paradise.
We got everybody covered for the first couple of days here of March.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, if you want tournament games, want to hang out with us, you got Thursday, you got Friday, and you got Saturday at our pickleball tournament.
So you and I and everybody else will be at Islands on Thursday.
Yep.
Having some cold beer, maybe some chips and salsa. It's going to be a good day watching some bad. Emily will actually be in the Islands. She's going to Hawaii. We get her.
Right.
Have you already kind of mentally checked? And by the way, I'm not going to judge you because I would be the same way. Have you already kind of checked out on us? You leave tomorrow's your last day of the week.
I'm mentally a little anxious about like just everything.
Which part?
All I don't know. All the plans coming together and making sure I just want to be there. I'm mentally like ready to be on Wednesday and
it's great
in an Uber to the airport. That's all I really want.
Get to the airport.
Yeah.
I'm mentally in July right now.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited.
You've never been to Hawaii before.
I've never been to Hawaii.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I have. There's a bunch of stuff for the wedding that we have planned because they didn't have a bachelorette party, and so they kind of like doing a couple things with like just the friend group that are almost like a bachelorette kind of thing.
Is this a group of friends that you see frequently?
They're my two best friends. They're already married, and I've met a good amount of their college friends, and they've come and visited, and I know their family a little bit, so it's gonna be really fun. And Claire's gonna come with me, and so it'll be really great.
Is she bringing an air fryer?
She's not bringing an air fryer this time, which is unfortunate for her.
Is she buying an air fryer from there and bringing it back?
Yeah, she might actually buy the one in the airport, like a little travel one that you can like tiny, like how they have those little like little tiny like waffle makers. Yeah, maybe she'll get that, but an air fryer for me.
Just throwing this out there. Just when Al brought this up, it kind of sparked a thought. You guys are in Oahu, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Oahu's a big city. There's a Walmart, there's a Costco, there's plenty, whatever. There's plenty Target, whatever you want. Go buy an air fryer, return it before you leave.
Yeah, and just have some, some frozen food that we'll get at the thing.
Get some taquitos delivered to the room and zap them all over again.
Guys, I take off. I got a Hot Pocket in the.
I've never done a Hot
never
Pocket
done
in
that.
an air fryer.
Actually.
It's kind of interesting.
The only main excursion we're doing.
It was always cold in the center. Every time we tried warming them up, never went well.
We have a boat day on Friday.
Where's the boat headed?
I have no idea. This is one of the things that's planned by
the
it's planned by the bride and groom,
okay.
And so I'm just kind of I'm on that for that, and then.
But there's something about a trip like that where, and I'm not telling you they're going to go 10 for 10. It's going to hit perfect, but a lot of this stuff, it's like, hey, you just get to. You don't have to worry about planning anything.
Yeah,
like you just got to show up.
There's only the other thing is that we're doing a luau too on Thursday.
By the way, so I've been to Hawaii a handful of times, and I think I've done a luau almost every time I've gone. Stick with me to the end of this. It's super cheesy. You're gonna be like, really, and you're gonna have a great time. Like every time I've gone, I'm like, yeah, this is so corny. It's so touristy. It's so all these things. The guy with the torch juggling the hula dancers and this, and then it's over. You're like, that was super fun. Like I've never not had a great time in a luau. There's Mai Tais. There's Kahlua pork. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah, there's a quote unquote welcome Mai Tai. So I'm assuming you get right off the thing and get the Mai Tai right away. And so I'm really excited for that. I know it's like one of those things like. I'm going to regret not doing it. You're gonna go, I don't have to go to get a luau every single time I go to Hawaii, but like the first time, I feel like I have to get kind of that part of the experience out of the way.
You should have got a +2 and brought Travis and I.
Sure, as well.
Have you been? When's the last time you were in Oahu? I haven't been to Oahu in a long time.
I've never been to Oahu.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to Oahu.
Never had the pleasure of Waikiki Beach?
No.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of iconic, right? It's touristy and it's all those things, but it's also Waikiki Beach.
Right.
It's there for a reason. There's a reason every hotel's right there because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I don't really have any idea of what to expect. It's going to be I'm hoping to just chill and do mostly nothing besides drink and have some like Mickey ear ice cream snow cone things.
And air fry.
Air fry.
Sounds good. Have a good time. Trying to send us a couple of pictures here and there. You don't have to do it a million of them, but just, fill us in. She's not going to do it.
She'll do it. She's pretty good at that. Ask me to do it. I probably
we stopped asking you.
Yeah.
We just knew that it's a proposition that's never going to get executed.
She's
so
good.
she's better at it. She's better at it. So Aaron Donald leaves. Al, I thought there's an interesting quote that Sean McVay said that after the season ended, like basically after they lost to the Lions in the wild card round, Aaron Donald told him, "Hey, I'm full. Basically, I've done everything there is to do in this league, and I don't think I want to play anymore." And that the Rams were able to keep that under wraps for a few months. Sure. It's pretty impressive. Hard to argue that Aaron Donald shouldn't be full. And when the announcement dropped on Friday, the shock of it, for me at least, was like, oh my gosh, they're losing probably the best player in the history of their organization, or certainly one of them. And where does he slot historically? What does it mean for him personally to walk away at this point? And then the longer the weekend went through, the more I started thinking about what does this do to the team for the 2024 season. Let's talk about what this does for the team in 2024 coming up next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN.
Dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't know.
Great question.
Travis and Sliwa
On 710 ESPN.
It's just about here. Our first signature event of the year. It is coming up on Saturday, 710's Pickleball Madness Tournament at the Agape Pickleball Center, Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. We start at 10 o'clock in the morning. We go all morning, all afternoon until 4 o'clock. Food, drinks, games, fun zone, March Madness. Plus, you can sign the biggest card in the world for Steve Mason. We'll be celebrating a birthday. We'll also be celebrating Mason and Ireland's 20th anniversary on ESPN LA. And you can RSVP right now for your seat. You go to ESPNLA.com, click the Pickleball Madness logo. Special thanks to Subaru. Love, it's what makes Subaru a Subaru. And now the love is electric, Slea. And
how big is that card, do you think? This is
Well,
a world record card.
it's got to be pretty big if it's going to
Right.
be a world record card, right?
Yeah,
I've seen some big cards before.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's going to be like the size of the whole fence, because remember last year that
Ooh.
fence was very big.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to see, do we have a big Sharpie to go along with this too? Like, we need to have that whole thing filled up
Or
too.
are we lying to our people that it's not the biggest card ever?
They picked it up at the Hallmark store and it's just clipped with a little, paper clip at
We
the
would
top
never
of the
lie
thing.
to our people, okay?
Never.
So this is true, but I'm excited to see how big this thing is.
I'm suing us. I want the truth.
You can get to the bottom of this? Absolutely. Okay, good. I'm feeling validated. My Rose and Thorn, or Rosebud and Thorn, what, Em, help me out here?
Rosebud and Thorn.
Rosebud and Thorn.
Yeah.
I was telling you a little bit about it, Slea. I have validation that someone else outside of my house heard it. So this is
Okay,
this
great.
is very good news. So
All right,
this is good news.
Is it the thorn or the rose?
It is my thorn.
This is Thorn.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's my thorn.
I got part of the. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
text.
wasn't hallucinating. Okay.
Got it.
Very quickly before we go to air now, what was that Kyrie Irving made at the end of the game last night? Like I don't want to. The Mavericks, whatever. Lakers are changing. Kyrie Irving might have hit the greatest game-winning shot I've ever seen as far as degree of difficulty of the shot that wasn't completely random.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've seen guys throw in 70-footers, right? That happens.
You don't have a
It's
choice, yeah.
Some skill, but mostly luck. This was with 2-point-something seconds left. He catches the ball. He's doing a little curl towards the free throw line. Kyrie Irving is right-handed. He takes with his left hand with Nikola Jokic guarding him, who's 7 feet tall. Kyrie's what, 6'3" or 4, 5, something like that. With his left hand,
oh my gosh,
kind of throws in a sidearm scooping finger roll hook shot layup thing that was nothing but net. It was perfect. And it wasn't lucky. It was a shot that he made from beyond the free throw line. It's about an 18-footer. I don't know if I've ever seen a higher degree of difficulty shot to win a game.
There is a couple ways that you could indicate when something's special. And I'm tell you what I mean by that. You have to look at the reaction of other players. These NBA players have probably seen every shot that you can possibly think of.
Yes.
Luka had both of his hands on his head like, that might be the greatest shot that I've ever seen. That's Luka. I get it if Maxi Kleber has the same reaction, but that's Luka on the other side. This is not and I just remember this because I've just seen a lot of documentaries on the Lakers back in the days. I remember it was Magic's rookie year, okay? And he's inbounding a ball. He inbounds it to Kareem, and Kareem takes the famous sky hook and about free throw line extended, and they win the game, and Magic's jumping all over Kareem. And Magic tells the story of Kareem saying, that's game one. There's 81 left. Don't ever do that again. But
that's a shot that Kareem had hit a billion times.
That's what Kareem is known for.
Right.
Okay. Take Kyrie, switch hands to his left hand, and now taking a shot over a 7-footer. That's what Kyrie did. It's. I'm with you. It's one of the.
Like had he taken a sky hook. Okay, that would be bonkers because he's Kyrie Irving. He's
from
not.
The side.
It was like a sidearm skyhook scoop. I've never seen anything
here's
like
the
it.
here's the dumbest thing about the shot too. Kyrie is so. Michael always says this. Like you talk about guys that he's as good finishing with his left as he is with his right.
Yep.
Like there's only Powell was like this. As good as finishing with his left as he is with the right. They use both their hands as good as they want. I've never seen a shot like that before. And what's crazy about it, I don't think that's and I think you've mentioned it, he can hit that shot again. That's not hey, he's going to make that shot 1 out of 100 times.
I don't think there's Damian Lillard, Kyrie the most blank I've ever seen. That it just
You didn't add the bra.
I left the bra out. There are other NBA players like I've never seen.
But they're
anything
not
like that
saying
before.
it's lucky.
It wasn't.
Like, I know. That's what I'm saying is that they know, Dame and Jalen Brunson know how special of a shot that was.
Like we'll see a guy do a turnaround heave at the free throw at the half court line with time expiring, and it goes in. You're like, okay, you kind of had to know the line and the direction, but that's 98% luck. That was 98% skill. He's not making that again, by the way. Like, how do you defend that? How do you defend a running sidearm finger roll from the top of the circle?
He's the only one that can make that shot. He's the only one in the NBA that can actually take that shot.
So you were off on Friday. Aaron Donald retires. When did you find out?
Notifications just start coming in.
Yeah.
And so I probably found out right as the show was about to start, right around that time. Listen, I think it makes me think, because you were gone in Pebble Beach when Jordan Rodriguez came out with a story and Emily mentioned, hey, we got to talk about this. And there was a little bit of like, I don't know, Em, do we
Why
really?
does this question keep on being brought up? Because she kind of put out there like that maybe Aaron would retire, that they haven't had a clear, he will be back next season.
But my response to Em was like, okay, hey, I read the article. I get it. I understand it. The guy's coming back. This is just my assumption, right? The guy is coming back. Part of it is because wouldn't you have retired a year earlier if you were done? The team, there wasn't much expectations.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl, all that, you already got all this. Now you got 30 plus on the books of this upcoming year, which I think he's still going to get probably close to half of that, part of a retirement bonus, whatever the case is. But your team is good. So I just assumed that if he was going to retire, he was going to do it earlier. He wouldn't do it this year. My initial reaction was, it was shock, and then it was, damn, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I thought there was nothing to it at all. The dust settles a little bit, and you start thinking about Aaron Donald, and if you said, hey, think of Aaron Donald, what's one thing that jumps out to you right away? I think of the Super Bowl, and I go back to him basically putting a ring on his finger on it, and think about the impact that he's had, obviously, with the Rams. Think about the impact he's had since a team came back to Los Angeles, and he's doing his best to, as best as he can, hey, come cheer for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm one of the greatest to ever do it at my position. I might not say much, but damn, you got to respect my craft and my work. And then as we kind of sit here today, I think the question now becomes, how much worse are the Rams today than they were 72 hours ago?
So I guess the question is, and this is what Sean McVay, Les Snead, and I guess Chris Shula are going to have to figure out. Chris Shula, of course, is replacing Raheem Morris. Like, had Aaron Donald left at the end of last season and Raheem Morris was still coming back to coordinate the defense, you have a guy that's been around the block a long time, who'd been in that job as a long time, who knows what life in the NFL, guys coming and going and all of this kind of stuff. And, well, Raheem Morris is gone, and now Aaron Donald is gone, and now Chris Shula is a first-time defensive coordinator trying to replace. And again, they've known he's been gone for some time. This did not land on their lap on Friday. Raheem was going to. And look, I doubt Chris Shula found out on Friday morning too. Yeah. I'm sure he's known for a while, but you don't go, okay, we need to get a new defensive tackle. Yeah, probably, but there isn't another one of those. You don't draft another one of those. You don't find or trade for another one of those. That's a once in an organizational history type of player. Mm-hmm. How do you even figure out what you have defensively? Because what you had in him allowed the other 10 guys on that side of the ball to play so radically differently because so much attention was paid to him. Whoever steps into that position is going to be immortal. Mortal, not immortal, mortal. And now all of a sudden the pressure on the secondary goes way up. The pressure on guys like Byron Young and Kobe Turner, who got 8 and 9 sacks respectively, go through the roof because Aaron Donald drew so much attention. I don't even know how you start getting ready for life without him, other than you got to start to play a little bit and see how good these other guys are. I don't even know if you can evaluate them properly.
The only good thing that I would say is that if Aaron Donald gave them the indication once the season ended, it's not like Aaron Donald sent them a text on Friday morning basically talking about, hey, guys, I'm thinking about calling it quits.
Yeah.
So I think the one advantage that they will have is this is not a surprise to them, and it's not a surprise to the organization. I think there is no replacing him, period. It's just figuring out, we got a draft pick at number 19. How much does that now change what our thought process is going to be? Free agency.
But can I throw one other thing in there? Because, yes, draft and free agency for sure. How good is Kobe Turner? We think he's pretty good. He had 9 sacks as a rookie. That's really good.
Yeah, but how much of that is because
exactly?
they have to pay attention to
I
Aaron
don't even
Donald?
know how good he is until I got to see him without Aaron Donald. Same thing for Byron Young. Same thing for these secondary guys. I can't even really tell you for sure what I think about these guys until they have to do it without the greatest defensive tackle of all time on the line with them because they've never had to do it before. It's just it's an impossible calculation until you see a little bit of it.
And we may not have to realize that the Rams might have to win their games this year even more than in the past with their offense. They might have to outscore people and put everything into that offense, and as they already kind of have their offensive line giving Matthew Stafford time and Kyrie Irving space. So maybe they're thinking, okay, maybe our defense can just get by. Maybe they can just be good enough that our offense is great.
I'm not crazy about that, but that might
they
be
might
the
not have a
position they're
choice.
in.
They might not have a choice. Look, if we're just purely speculating on the fun factor,
Your talent's on offense.
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like, who's their best player? Matthew Stafford. Who's their second best player? It's probably either Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. Who's their third best player? Kyren Williams. Who's their next best player?
Avila, I don't know, like an offensive lineman.
Kevin Dotson,
yeah.
right? It's there. All of these guys are on that side of the ball. Maybe it's just for a fun perspective.
They might need to put up 30
That's what I'm
points
saying.
a game.
Like,
yeah.
hey, we're going to race you to 40.
Right.
We're going to race you to 40, and if you get there before us, good on you. But if not, we're going to win these games.
And it might not be like a Super Bowl winning strategy.
Maybe
and
not.
I think that they will, if they have an opportunity to take someone they think that would fit in really well, but it might just be how they have to do it. But I think that one thing that we've talked a lot about how people come and go in the Rams a lot of time, especially in terms of coaches. They've come and they've been under McVay and they leave and they go be an OC or they go be a head coach somewhere else. That losing both Aaron Donald and Raheem Morris are going to be huge factors in the way that I think that we haven't seen before in the Sean McVay era since he started.
No question.
It took
no question.
It definitely took some air out of the sails, right? That once the season ended, you can say to yourself, you can have the concept and the idea of, okay, hey, we lost, but we lost to the Lions. But look at the season that they had. Look what they're building off of. Now there is kind of a little bit of a step back.
How would you like to have been Jimmy G? Because the Aaron Donald news drops at like 9:30 in the morning, and then the Jimmy G news drops was like 2, something like that. 1:30, 2
we were
o'clock.
already off the air, so it's probably 2:30 somewhere there.
It's like, oh yeah, cool. Because by the way, that's a really good signing
a good
for them.
signing. I agree.
It's a really good signing for them. But on the heels of Aaron Donald saying peace out, it's like, oh yeah, we got Jimmy G. Yeah, he's super handsome, cool. That's actually a really good addition for this team because odds are you're going to have to play a game or so without your quarterback. And isn't Jimmy G kind of the perfect backup?
Can you imagine the text Garoppolo sent Aaron Donald saying, you're going to do this on my day?
Yeah. Hijacked my moment, bro. What are you doing?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, on the day of my daughter's wedding.
But
Exactly right.
Why exactly is Jimmy G such a great backup quarterback for the Rams? I mean, he wasn't great with the Raiders.
I'll tell you why.
He didn't earn his job there.
I'll tell you why. It's coming up next. It's Travis Slea, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason.
I'm not even going to promote it anymore. If you're in Anaheim, you're coming out to hang out with the Travis and Sliwa show this Friday. So whatever you have to do with work, don't let work get in the way of a good time. Is that a real quote, or did I just make that up? All right, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Friday in Anaheim. Pizza Hut, 301 South Magnolia Avenue. Just so you know, we're giving away a 75-inch TV from our friends over at Mirror Audio Video in Westwood. Just so you know, there are going to be TVs at this Pizza Hut so you can watch all the college games that are going on. Plus happy hour special starting at 10 a.m. $1 off pints of beer, $2 off pitchers, half-price apps, the $9 express lunch deal, and more. Pizza Hut in Anaheim this Friday. Travis and Sliwa show, Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. We'll see you there on Friday.
And you keep leaving out what I believe to be the second best part. The best part is a 75-inch TV from Mirror Audio Video that tied with pizza and beer specials.
Great.
We get to watch you live and die with every make and miss of your Aztecs, who are actually playing. The game will start and end while we're on the air.
Still on. You'll be on Ask Slea, and they'll be in the middle of the first half.
They'll be in the middle of the first half. Yeah, that's right. It's at 10:30. We have a lot of Aztecs in Southern California. They're not just all in San Diego. So if you're an Aztec fan, you want to come watch a game, come watch a game.
What am I going to deal with here? Like, what is my co-host, my broadcast partner? What are you going to be? Are you going to be useful to me on Friday, or are you going to be checked out?
I think it depends.
On?
How they doing?
Well, give me the range of emotions.
If they're doing poorly, if they're losing
by 20. If they're doing
20.
poorly, I'm turning off all the TVs. I turned it off. I told you during the pregame on Saturday, I'm watching Lakers and New Mexico Wild, and I just had one TV to turn off. I'm going to have to go behind every TV and turn them all off.
And you're like, what madness? What sport are we
Guys, focus on the show. That's what I'm going to tell them.
Focus on the show. Lakers.
What if it's going well?
If it's going well, let's have a good time. Now, granted, I have a Laker game on Friday coming up. Later in the day, I'm Ubering to the pregame show on Friday night.
What if...
would be great.
Or I'm doing pregame from Pizza Hut. I'm like, guys, I couldn't leave.
How about this? State throws in like a three-pointer at the buzzer to win by 1.
Yeah.
And you just decide to go hard.
Hard to the hoop.
You just decide you're all in, and you do the Lakers show with one eye closed. That would be amazing. That's what I'm kind of rooting for.
What I really want is, the San Diego State wins on a last-second buzzer beater. They get through. He takes off his headset, and he runs around the Pizza Hut a couple times just to get the energy out. And then you chug a beer with Travis, and you try to beat him.
Done. You didn't have
you
to try
guys
to
should
beat
do that either way.
We can just chug beers. You give me one of these guys. That's how I see when I'm having a really good time, my right eye gets closed. Because I can only use my left eye at that point before it gets a little...
I play pickleball when I'm having a good time. A couple ultras in.
So your question, Em, was why is Jimmy G such a good backup?
Yeah, so he was discarded by the Raiders, essentially, as their starting quarterback. And, he's been underwhelming.
Okay.
So why is he such a great backup?
Yep. Yeah. You said he was discarded as their starting quarterback.
What role? Starting quarterback.
I don't want him to be the quarterback of my team 17 games a season. I want him to be the guy that, hey, listen, Matthew Stafford twisted his ankle, and he's going to miss a couple of weeks. Matthew Stafford got hit, and he's in concussion protocol for the rest of the game, and we got to get through the second half. It's 17-17 the start of the third quarter. We got to get to the end of this game. Jimmy G is not the guy I want to build my franchise around. However, this is a guy that's taken a team to the Super Bowl that has really never been until he went to the Raiders on a bad team. He doesn't seem to panic. He seems to be a guy that's his teammates respond to in a positive way. This is a guy that's been a starter in the NFL for multiple years. He was able to absorb what Kyle Shanahan was doing offensively, which gives me a great deal of hope that he's going to be able to absorb what Sean McVay is doing offensively. And what you're looking for in a backup quarterback in the NFL is basic competency. Jimmy G is basically competent, and I mean that as a compliment. Same way with Carson Wentz. Brett Rippon was not. John Wolford was not. Bryce Perkins was not. Stetson Bennett was not. This is a guy that if you said, listen, don't drive us off the cliff, and we're going to have a package of plays. Can we do this for a couple of games? Absolutely. I think that's what it is. Do I need him to play the rest of the year? Don't love that. But for a game here or there or in a pinch, absolutely.
Let's highlight. And if you remember this during the season, there were a lot of times you mentioned they didn't go spend resources on a backup quarterback, right? That was something that, and maybe Travis just had to do it. They didn't think they were going to be good, so they didn't want to put resources towards a backup quarterback. And if the Rams,
it's so dicey.
If the Rams had a predicament happen last season where Matthew Stafford was going to have to miss 5 or 6 games, something along those lines, I'm sure the Rams are saying, okay, let's just get the best pick possible. I don't want to go spend a resource on a backup quarterback. What I think this tells you, them going out and getting Garoppolo, tells you that, of course, that 1 or 2 games could be the difference. That 1 or 2 games or 3 or 4 games could be the difference of them continuing to kind of keep their head above water. I'm going to make one more quick point on the Raiders. Do you remember what he signed for? To be a starting quarterback for the Raiders, he signed for $72 million, and $33 million of it are guaranteed. I don't know what the terms are for, what he's signing with the Rams.
Not that.
There's no risk in this.
No.
And I think what you said is that he can walk in and at least keep them above water when needed.
Well, you said it well, that last year the Rams, I think they obviously got very hot in the second half of the season, ripped off a bunch of wins, but they were 1 win away, potentially, from missing the playoffs. And that could have been that Green Bay game that you and I talked about, where this is before Green Bay had kind of hit their stride. The Rams looked like one of the worst teams in the league.
It was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life.
They scored 3 points, and they were lucky to get 3.
And both of those teams make it to the playoffs and were really good.
And were scary. Both of those teams look good. But if they lose that game and 1 or 2 other things shake differently throughout the second half of the season, they're out because they had to play 1 stinking game without Matthew Stafford. And that's what it could be this year. Only now you're going into it with, it could be the difference between being home or on the road. It could be the difference if what if it happens in a playoff game? Yeah.
Right.
It's a terrible scenario, but Jimmy G coming in, you're not dead. You don't love it, but you're not dead. And that's what you're looking for in your backup quarterback. Or when Brett Rippon came in, are you dead? Yep. Yes. We sure are. Are you dead with Carson Wentz? No. Are you dead with Jimmy G? No. And I think that's why it's such a big deal.
I also think
get a jersey yet?
Yeah, totally.
He's pretty handsome.
I think that the thing with Jimmy G, too, is his biggest detrimental thing that held against him was his arm, his deep threat. He just kind of lacked the ability to have that big play. And again, when you're a backup quarterback, you're going to do check downs. You're going to have to run the ball a lot, and he can satisfy the Rams. And honestly, the Rams' offense isn't a ton of deep threat anyway.
I was just going to say, how often do they push the ball down the field like that? Not very often.
It's a lot of yak, honestly. It's like it's getting to Puka, and then he breaks the tackle, and then he goes away. And, I think that's one of the things that the Rams should do more of this year is having a deeper threat. But again, with Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G as your quarterbacks, they're older, and maybe they just want to be able to execute.
Well, I think it's that, and the other part is their 3 wide receivers, their main 3 guys,
aren't speedy.
They're not burners.
Yeah.
That Kupp, Nakua, and Robinson are not guys that are going to run past people. That's Tutu's role, and good luck with that.
Yes, and yes, Jimmy G is very handsome, so congratulations to all the Southern California ladies to having more Jimmy G on your local radio station or TV station.
Ticket sales, ticket sales just completely
Susan
changed.
was excited. The Rams got Jimmy G. Yeah, you're giving me your backup Rams
quarterback.
Why don't
we add Sam Hartwell in the 5th round, too, or late round?
Yeah, I guarantee you Susan did not know that Jimmy G was a backup. She thought he was coming here, and she was for it. We got Jimmy G. He's never going to play, right? Yeah, well, what? What do you mean?
I mean, he gets to take off his helmet more and be on the sidelines in just a hat, too, so you see more of his face.
Okay, so he's at a
Every
Laker game.
commercial is going to be him. Partners are going to be jumping on. And
so he was at a Warriors game with McCaffrey and Kittle. Was Kittle the 3rd guy?
Yes.
Yeah. And
we know why we skipped him.
The line of Warriors dancers was a single file line to go meet Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other players literally did not exist.
Who goes with Jimmy G to the Laker game, and is there still a single file line? Let's say he goes with Puka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He goes with Puka and
Puka's in a relationship just like Christian McCaffrey.
This is easy.
Kyron Williams.
I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be a line for Jimmy G because Jimmy G is on the market.
This is easy. At this point, nobody goes with him. Because everybody's like, I'm not going to freaking go with Jimmy G.
Well, that's bad strategy. You're not thinking it through because Jimmy G can only handle so much. There's going to be some overflow.
Right.
You got to, hey, I'm still here. All right. What are you going to do? You got to play a numbers game, Slea. Rose, Bud, and Thorn coming up next. Strav and Slea, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason and
All right, the NCAA tournament is almost here. Slea and I are in matching shirts. Yep. And you can come hang out with us at the Dine-In Pizza Hut on Magnolia Avenue in Anaheim on March 22nd. There is Dine-In Pizza Hut still out.
Listen, you eat pizza,
You hang out with us.
Win.
College basketball going on. We're giving away a 75-inch 4K TV. Of course, we're going to be giving out specials the entire time. You know Pizza Hut's going to hook everybody up. What's better?
They have menu hacks that we can talk about. Come on out, hang out with us. Pizza Hut in Anaheim, Magnolia Avenue, March 22nd. Don't
miss out.
That.
All right, guys, so today we're going to do a little bit of Rose, Bud, and Thorn. And so, everyone's kind of had this experience where you're at doing a little icebreaker or at a work meeting, and they ask, like, what's the Rose, Bud, and Thorn? What's the highlight and low light of the last 24 hours? So Travis, why don't you start us off? Do you have a Bud and Thorn?
I do. So which one would you like first?
Whatever, dealer's choice. Whatever you want.
Okay, I'll do them in the order in which they took place.
Okay.
So I got the Rosebud, which is, and that's why I looked at you so funny when you said to me earlier today, do you ever have a customer service experience where they won't leave you alone?
That was off air, so yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she said to me, like, where somebody comes up and asks to help, and then they just constantly annoy you as you're going through your shopping experience.
Can I help you?
I had that yesterday, but it was exactly what I needed at the time I needed it, and it was wonderful. My youngest son, Michael's having an issue with his laptop, so we took it to the Apple store, and the people there could not have been any more helpful.
You love a Genius Bar.
And so Michael's at the Genius Bar, the guy trying to help him out, and I said to Michael, I said, hey, I'm going to go look at the Apple Watches. And so I walked over there. It could have been 2 or 3 minutes later. Another employee comes over and says, hey, I heard you had some questions about Apple Watches. And I'm like, I actually do. They were patient. They were incredibly informed. It was a wonderful customer service experience.
I have a question because I think everybody's different. When you walk into a store, doesn't matter what kind of store, what's too much, what's too little? Like if all I want is when I walk in, hey, thank you for coming by. If you need something, just let me know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for. If I get one of those, then I could kind of do my thing, and if I need them, I'll come over.
I'm looking for, hey, is there anything I can help you with? At this point, they need to react to my answer. If I say, nope, I'm just poking around, that means I'm good. I'm not looking for anything specific, and if I have any questions, I'll let you know. But if I say, hey, I'm looking for this, and they, oh, well, okay, come on over here. Sometimes I am actively seeking their assistance in this, and this was one of those times, and not pushy. It was just a perfect customer service experience. I loved it, and that doesn't happen very often, and I loved it.
You know who is very pushy? Sephora. Anybody who's been out there, they
Tell me
bombard
about it.
you.
Oh.
It's a small store too, so it's a makeup store if you don't know what that is. So small store, and I swear to God, there's always like 10 people just milling around these little things.
Yeah.
And so welcome to Sephora. That's all I want. Hey, welcome in. And I say, hi, thank you. And then I go and do whatever I want. Because typically I go in, I know exactly what I need.
Yeah, I would
I go
follow
in
you.
and go out.
But can you
And but every single time you're even looking at something for like half a second, they're like, can I help you?
I don't like that.
And it's just like,
Yeah, it's
and
too much.
8 different people ask you, and I'm like, I don't need help. And if I do need help, I'll ask.
Costco, I can't find somebody. Costco, I'm searching
that's
around
that's not their business
45
model.
minutes.
Their business model is not to ask you if you need help. You
I
need
know.
to find it, or
I got the guy that's
it.
on, he's moving like crates or something.
He's in a forklift.
Can you help me for
They're
a
busy.
second? He's like, no, I'm transferring all the paper towels.
I think it's Sephora. The main reason why I did that is because it's a very popular shoplifting thing.
Yeah.
Because
that's a
it's
big
small
part of it.
things and it's purses, and people will just put it in there. So I think that they're vigilant because of that. But
Loss
what's your
prevention.
thorn?
My thorn was this morning at 2 a.m. So I did not sleep particularly well last night, so I was sleeping very lightly, okay? And I hear a boom outside that is not like something fell. It honestly sounded like an explosion from a movie, like not just a bang, but a kaboom.
Like a thunder?
But more explosive than it's literally like
the hell is going on in that
I
neighborhood?
thought honestly like a gas main had exploded. That's how loud it was. And so I sat up in bed and I'm like, what was that? Susan kind of wakes up and she says, wait, did I not dream that? Did that actually happen? I'm like, no, that happened. Asked my boys this morning, or texted, they're like, no, I didn't hear it. I'm like, what in the... I texted a buddy of mine who lives, 4 or 5 blocks away from me. I'm like, hey, did you happen? He goes, yes, I heard it. It scared the living daylights out of me. The more I think about it, I think they were probably doing something at Camp Pendleton, which is not far from my house, because it sounded so much like like a detonation of a huge bomb. That it's the only thing that could sound like, because I was waiting for police cars and fire trucks. I'm thinking, we're going to have to evacuate the house. Yeah. That's how loud it was. Nothing.
I love that the boys were like,
didn't even hear it.
That's crazy.
Didn't even hear it. And it's,
scary.
when you get woken up in the middle of the night and your heart's just racing, because that was my thorn this morning.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's scary. Hopefully nothing terrible happened.
I've been looking online all morning. Nothing. Like it never happened.
Neighborhood watch.
It landed, and
they
then
have
they
a
don't
group of mother hens that all text each other with news from the neighborhood, and none of them know anything.
All right, Al?
All right, Rosebud for me. I know we had daylight savings, what was this now? A little over a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
But this was our first full weekend and our first full week to just enjoy that we have more time, more daylight. I took advantage of it. So for me, it didn't matter. Just the mere fact that We're not getting dark till 7 or 7:30.
You're sunbathing on the roof until 7:30.
I don't know if it changed anything for you guys, but I'm telling you, just the ability to go out on walks, to go outside again for this, or sitting out on the balcony and having dinner. Little things like that, I really, really noticed it these last couple of days because of daylight savings. My Thorn, can't figure this out. Can people just pick up after themselves? Like, am I asking for too much here? I felt like there is just so much more trash on the floor. Yesterday, I'm going for a walk. I did something I've never really done before. And this is, I went and got I guess I have done it before, but definitely haven't done it often. I went and got a paper bag. And I just was picking up trash around the neighborhood.
On the sidewalk? And
you should get one of those sticks with a nail in it.
I want one of those. No, I want one of those. I want the clip one.
Oh, the little grabber?
Yeah, I want the clip one. I want one of those. I think I got a new side hustle, even though nobody's going to pay me for it.
You're a street janitor.
I'm basically a street janitor. Why are we littering? Like, what's the point of littering? Can somebody explain to me why we're littering? I don't know what it is, but damn, does it make a neighborhood just look completely different? Pick up after yourself. That was my goal.
It's the same people that drive in the shoulder on the highway. It's like, my time is the most precious. My thing's the most precious.
So
I'm lazy.
stupid.
I'm just going to drop whatever I
People
have.
that drive on the shoulder, that catches up to them. That doesn't last long. I'm not worried about that. The universe will correct to those. I went to my son Michael had a baseball game at Pepperdine on Saturday morning, and we go to the game, and my mom and dad met us there. And so Susan and my mom and dad are sitting there, and Susan bought some snacks, and like we had cuties and I think a banana. So we put the cuties and the banana peel on the ground after we were done, and I picked it all up to throw it away. And my mom, who is a regular listener, goes, "I thought you don't pick up after yourself after the baseball game." And I'm like, "Well, I got bullied into it." So that reminded me of that.
It's a good thing to get bullied
My
into.
mother bullied me.
There you go.
You can change.
I guess
you're not
so.
too old to change.
But then at that point, I wanted to throw it back down on the ground and go, "You can't tell me what to do."
And also, orange peels are biodegradable, so at least they would probably, degrade. All right, Cody, what's your rosebud and thorn?
So my rosebud and thorn are correlating with one another. So over the weekend, I was kind of checking my school emails just because I need to make sure I'm on top of everything because I'm graduating in May. And then I got a email that said like, "Oh, your cap and gown are it's almost that time to go pick up your cap and gown." So I was I thought about it, and I was like, well, it's kind of cool, graduating from college, the cap and gown. It's kind of that's
For sure.
That's my rosebud. So just.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Have you had the dream?
What dream?
The one where you show up to graduation and like you're a class short, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
You haven't had that one, Emily? Did you have that dream?
I didn't know, but I know what you're talking about.
I've had that dream. I still have it.
It's a Zach Morris thing.
It is you never graduated.
Yeah.
You did not do this class. You do not get to go through the ceremony.
No, I'm too paranoid.
Hopefully I planted the seed and you wake up in a panic tomorrow
Every
morning.
semester, I always have hey, I'm on track, right? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, and that's the only question I'll ask. Like, I'm on track, and they're like, why did you even request a
Do you
meeting an appointment?
I'll ask both you guys, Trav and Emily. Do you guys remember when you were done? And what I'm talking about is I remember vividly the last paper I had to turn in, and the teacher, the office that it was in, basically had said, "Hey, I'm gone for the day, so just make sure." He's telling all the students this, right? Just slide it under the door. And I remember literally like it was yesterday of this sliding it under the door. The papers are no longer touching my fingers. I am now done, officially done with college and my education.
Right.
I can only get stupider from this point.
I thought I was the year 2000 when you graduated from high school.
2005 now, because it took me 4.5 to get out of SDSU.
Learning,
do you guys remember? Do you
I
have
don't.
a specific
I
moment?
remember
like that?
my graduation ceremony, but that's about it.
So my last, again, it was not like a physical, it was supposed to be a physical put this in the office thing. I got the date wrong for my very last paper, and it's one of those classes that I have 2 papers that are in my entire grade. And it was a class called
the worst.
It was the Black Power class, and it was about the history of the Black Power movement. And so I was like, oh shoot! I thought it was due tomorrow. It was actually due today, and I already passed the deadline. I hurriedly emailed my professor. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, whatever. And she was like, just turn in what you have. And I quickly finished my paper. It was probably pretty crappy, and I turned it in, and I was done with college. So
Did you have any graduate with honors or anything? Was that in the mix for you? Because it certainly wasn't for me.
I can't remember the exact thing, but yeah, I had some.
So you were
honors.
worried about getting a good grade on this thing?
Kind of, yeah. And it's more of like, what, to end on that. And I also was still considering maybe law school at that point, too. So.
For me, it was like very similar to like Dune 2. I watched it. Sandy says, I graduated.
I went there.
I completed.
05,
I cared about
2000
learning.
2005.
That's exciting,
Those are
Code.
good numbers. Those are good round numbers.
Good for you, Thorn Cody?
And then my Thorn is correlating. It's $250 for something that I'm only going to wear once. The cap and gown and like the tassels and everything is going to cost $250. I was like, come on. I was like, it's only wearing it once. And like, I guess the only way is like you can kind of make your money back is like if you rent it out to like students from
sublet it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what
He's
people
wearing
do.
a UC Irvine one. I couldn't get Fullerton, but I stayed within the
I'm in
conference.
the Big West. It's close enough. That's awesome. You should do that.
Yeah, I think
you
I
should
will.
do that. That's great. Congratulations,
$80.
Code. That you just wear it and you turn it back in and it's $250?
It's too. You don't turn it back in. You keep it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you keep it.
But when are you ever going to? You
Yeah,
should
exactly.
become a judge.
That's what I'm saying. Wow.
Just
What
become.
color is the robe?
I think it's blue and orange. The actual gown is dark blue, and then like the sashes and stuff are like orange.
Did you guys go school colors on your?
Ours is black.
Ours was black too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about yours? You guys have black in your school colors though.
Yeah,
Red?
we went. No, I think we went black.
Yeah.
I think we went black as well.
Just a navy blue.
Classic. It's like a little black dress.
Yeah. If
It was
black,
108 degrees, and it was done at the SCSU amphitheater outside. It was like it was at noon. Like that's when we did our graduation.
When Susan graduated from
Middle
Cal
of May.
Poly, it was 900 degrees
yeah.
in Slow that day, and I
Yeah.
thought I was going to die. Yeah,
It was raining.
graduation should be in April. Let's just do
Or
that.
indoor.
Indoors is fine.
Yeah, mine
too.
was raining. Okay, I have mine. So my last one is I'll start with my Thorn, and I'll end with my Rose. But my Thorn is that I had to watch another UVA basketball game. Why did they not just get left out? They suck this year. They can't shoot worth anything.
You got to get in. Anything can
No,
happen.
I don't. No,
Anything
they
can
don't.
happen. Anything.
They
You get to
get
the
to
Sweet
the
16.
They suck.
You can get to the Sweet
I do not want to
16.
see them play basketball
Counterpoint,
anymore.
so does everyone else in college
Okay,
basketball.
Travis, you have not seen UVA play this year.
True.
Because they are absolutely atrocious. They cannot score to save their life. They probably score 25 points a game.
but that
they
is
suck
college.
so bad.
That
No.
is college.
This is especially bad. They go through stretches of like 10 minutes where they cannot score. They're exceptionally bad. I know like UVA has the rap of like, oh, they're so hard to watch because they so focus on defense. But back in like 2019, from 2017 to 2020-ish, they actually had offense. They had guys that could score and shoot and get up to like 80 points. I know that's not a lot, but it's a lot in college basketball-ish. But this team sucks. Get them off my screen, even though I'm a fan, and I'm going to be rooting for them tomorrow night. So that's my Thorn. I wish they got left out. My Rosebud, though, is Pitbull's Twitter. Pitbull, the singer's Twitter, is just giving me so much joy. So this was on March 16th. He says, all my hashtag powerful women, y'all deserve the throne. Keep your head up and stay strong, Dale. And then he tweeted out yesterday, Happy St. Patrick's Day, Dale. And then today he tweeted out, haters are the biggest motivators, 100. Monday motivation. So
there you go.
Pitbull's Twitter is giving me life right now, so that's my Rosebud.
I want you to come to work one day in a black leather jacket and mirrored sunglasses, just channeling your inner Pitbull.
Every day above ground is a good day.
There you go. Those are good. I like that segment. Good job, Em. The Dump coming up next is Travis Slea, 710 ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
All right, the madness starts on March the 21st, and we are going to be at the Islands in your neighborhood, Ireland.
This is my personal islands in Manhattan Beach, in Manhattan Village. My son, the great Jack Ireland, will be washing dishes and bussing tables, so he can't get you any free food, but if you need a clean dish, he'll be ready.
Excellent. Well, I will be ready for cheddar fries, dredged in that ranch dressing. My favorite thing at Islands. And all the shows are going to be there. Travis and Sliwa, me in Ireland, and Shadano and Cap on March the 21st.
Games start at 9 o'clock in the morning and run all day and all night. Join us at Islands.
It was today in 1980, which doesn't feel that long ago, which was actually 44 years ago, which is deeply depressing. Mike Krzyzewski was offered the Duke head coaching position, and he accepted the job. He took over as the head coach officially on May 4th. And what, is this the second year we've had of college basketball?
John Shire as the head coach,
Held that job down for 42 years.
I have actually no idea. Is Duke good this year?
They're okay. They have
Are they in the tournament?
I think they are. They are in the tournament. They have talent, but they just can't put it together.
Yeah. Think about the question that we just asked. Is Duke in the tournament? And we're like, yeah, I think so.
I know.
College basketball, that has to be somewhat alarming to them.
They're a
right?
Mountain West. I mean, I got some info. Nothing else.
What is the name again of Duke's coach?
John Shire.
John Shire.
Today is the first day I've ever heard that name.
If you'd have told me John Shire won an Oscar, I would have been like, his work is amazing.
Shire's brother.
Yep.
Oh, I wish it were.
Oh, just
Adrian's brother is
just as believable to me. Like I
also could have been lying to you guys. I could have been having a totally different person, but his name is.
And
John
we would
Shire.
have known nothing.
An MLS announcer took a shot at Her Royal Highness Kate Middleton and the royal family while he called a save.
Delgado playing one over the top, skips to the end line from the corner, Paintsill, centers. Oh! Roman Berkey! Stones Jovic! Paddles one away! Oh, Roman Berkey! Altering that shot like it's a Kate Middleton Mother's Day photo.
No.
It was a little too forced.
Yep.
It was trying too
he
hard.
wrote that down, and he'd been waiting for that moment to when he could slide that in there. Like, I was here, I was waiting for it to come in, but you could tell he was reacting to a save, and they went, oh, this is where I had that Kate Middleton joke. Let me dust that off.
And
give
if
it
a
rip.
save didn't come and we are getting close to it ending, he'd have used it on a corner kick.
Yeah.
That was getting used.
It's also the tone. He sounded very proud of himself as he did this. Just
the great calls come quasi-organically. Be prepared, but don't read it. That felt like he was reading his Kate Middleton joke. Andy, where are you on the latest that I read something this weekend that she was finally spotted in a video? Emily completely debunked this and swatted it aside.
I saw something on Twitter and took it for fact.
she's going to be here for the 2 o'clock hour, so just hang. She's going to be in studio with us.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, it's going to be me, John, Michael, Pepe, and Kate.
Kate will
Very
be
soon.
here as
She's
well.
got a lot of thoughts
That's a
on the
good
Lakers.
get, as they say.
Oh, she's got thoughts on Darvin Ham, the brackets, all sorts of stuff. I have not kept up with this thing at all.
Oh, it's tremendous. This is the first time in my life I've had even a smattering of interest in
I don't
anything
believe you.
royal
I think
family.
now, I think this is just opening up. You feel more comfortable with bringing this up now.
You can share the photos that you went to Kate and Will's wedding.
The idea that one of the most famous people in the Western world is AWOL is intriguing to me.
And they
That-
keep
that's
on
weird.
pushing out false photos in stories. Like,
Yeah, that
what are
part's
we
weird.
doing
That's weird. That
here?
part's weird.
Yeah, she's just not around.
Am I correct? Isn't there like a schism between Kate Middleton and like the palace?
That's the other
Okay,
one.
So
Right?
we didn't know before this. So the people that left the quote unquote institution were Harry and Meghan. So Harry and Meghan are the ones.
So
who
those
live
are different people.
Yeah. So Harry and Meghan are Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They moved to California.
They live
about
in
3
Montecito.
years ago. Yeah.
Okay, here's my next question. Who's Kate Middleton?
So Kate Middleton will be the next queen whenever Will.
I'm being
her-
serious. I apparently thought her.
She's
and
married
Meghan
to
were
the redheaded brother has the wife that they split. They're like, we're out of here. The bald brother is married to Kate Middleton.
Okay, I actually thought we were talking about the one who's been stateside this whole time.
Bald brother is next in line for the king. So Charles is the king.
Don't even know who that is.
Will is right under Charles, and Kate is Will's husband. So if Charles passes away, Will is king, and she is queen.
We should do a podcast on this.
There are plenty
Just
of
a
podcasts
full
about
1
the
hour.
monarchy.
So, like, does she
I
have
would listen to it, but just us three.
Does she
With
have a good
sheer
relationship
confusion
with the
So
crown?
Kate has been one of the most forward members of the institution. Yes, we believed that she had a good relationship with the crown until all this stuff happened.
That's what we thought.
And so she was supposed to be like a very dutiful member of the crown. She also really, really wants to be queen. She's like tried so hard to get
Yeah,
Will.
she's into the whole deal.
She really wants to be queen, and so it's not like Meghan, who didn't ever want to be queen and is married to the spare.
All right.
Does that help? Are you good now? You caught up? Everybody else on the road caught up?
Ireland strikes me as somebody who may be somewhat up to speed on the royal
Not even
family
just that.
shenanigans.
I think John has like sources. Like,
Well,
I think
John
John
has a
will
kind
go
of a
to his
regal bearing in
phone,
his own right.
Text somebody and say,
As
"Give me
I
the
often
latest."
say about my good friend Lindsay Lohan, Kate Middleton is just misunderstood.
There you go.
She's done nothing wrong. Leave her be.
Did you see the video or the
Are you
stories?
picking on Kate Middleton, Em? Is that what's going on here?
I'm just saying she's still missing.
I just learned who she is.
Have you been following this
You don't know
story?
who she is, Andy?
No, I apparently thought she was Meghan Markle or whatever her
Markle.
name is. Markle.
Have you been following her absence?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see the story yesterday that apparently there was a video of her?
I haven't seen a video.
Nor have I.
No
but
one's seen the video.
Well, it's on Twitter.
But they say there is a video where she was seen and everything's fine now, but Emily is batting
She had
that aside.
abdominal surgery, right?
Quote unquote, yeah.
What do you wait? You're doubting her?
I'm just saying there's a lot of things out there that
Or
no
are
one
you
knows
suggesting that it might have been plastic surgery and she's hiding?
about. That could be true. She could also be getting a divorce from William. There's a million.
I
things
heard
out
about the
there
cheating, yeah.
because they didn't say anything true, and so all these.
Well, what's their motto? Never confirm, never discuss,
never
something.
complain, never explain. Is
Okay,
their thing.
yeah,
So
got it.
they have not
I like
explained
that.
anything, but they've also had all these weird things happen that they haven't talked about.
What
and
is
the
your
internet goes
theory
wild.
as to her extended absence from the public view?
I don't know, but it seems like that family has marital problems top to bottom. You know, so
Fair.
that wouldn't surprise me, but it's a lot to give, as we found out with Diana before she died, it's a lot to give up. if you're Kate Middleton.
But wouldn't
if
there
your
be
husband cheats,
photograph of her somewhere going to take the kids somewhere to do something like this, that she's not that they're getting a divorce or maybe getting a divorce, they're having problems. She's an exceptionally famous person that has not been seen in public in going on 3 full months.
It is
with
tax
photos
season.
that aren't doctored.
Right.
So because it's tax season,
Does she
could
moonlight
be,
as a CPA?
It could be a lot going on in her
How
life.
great would it be if she had a side hustle as a CPA? Who does your taxes? Well, don't tell anybody, but it's Kate Middleton. She knows all the laws. She knows all the places to squirrel away money.
There will be
That's the best case scenario.
An announcement on Monday. It was said that there will be an announcement regarding the royal family, that there's been an embargo on news until Wednesday.
Didn't you say that President Obama had shown up in the UK?
He was at Downing Street, so at 10 Downing Street. But
We've
who
reached
knows?
a place now where even whatever this announcement says and they bring her out, there's still going to be conspiracy theories like it's going to be like a Dave situation. Remember that movie where Kevin Kline played the fake president?
Sure. That was actually a really good movie.
It is a good movie. But I'm just saying, like, this is never going to go away because the best part about conspiracy theories, and we really are living this the last several years worldwide, is they don't have to make sense and there is no bottom.
If
And it's their fault for letting it go this far. If they could have gotten control of this and they refused to, and therefore the conspiracy theories run wild.
Cody, you know what we should do? A little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slea?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, so John, I'm going to start with you. Was the ending of Saturday night's Laker game your opening exhibit in your case to get rid of replay in NBA basketball?
I rarely do this, but I'm going to punt because it's the whole start of our show.
Okay, fair
okay.
enough.
It's
enough.
literally I have sound prepared. I have a whole argument.
So I'm watching the game on Saturday night, and you can sit this out for this if you'd like. But and I'm watching the whole thing. It took 22 minutes of clock time to play 2 minutes of basketball time.
Yep.
And all I'm thinking about is you and Michael. Because as I'm
if
watching,
you would have been listening, we would not have disappointed you.
I couldn't believe how long it took. And I get it.
Never
the shot clock, forget about it, because that's something that they can't control.
My first year of covering the NBA was 1996. I've never seen anything like it. Ever.
That long.
Ever.
It almost became it was like a joke after a while. Every time LeBron, they inbound the ball.
Wasn't
and
like
there
a
was-
joke.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
this is
a
how
joke.
bad it was. And,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you'll bring this up. Mike Breen on the game was even saying, this is
Oh,
ridiculous.
You'll hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just awful.
Well, I mean, there was weird timing going on because you had whatever was going on with LeBron's three, which Darvin Ham made it sound like, because he was asked in so many words, like,
Did you know they could review it?
Like, did your asking of, the challenge on that play involving Draymond Green and Austin Reeves, where Draymond tried to get the ball off Austin, but he traveled, did that challenge allow for the opportunity to review this LeBron three that got wiped off? And he said no. Like, basically that this is stuff that gets reviewed in New York, and I think the timing of it was just very weird. But I wonder how much of the delay, I mean, not counting the stuff with the shot clock and all that, but how much of the delay was them actually having to wait around for something from Sea Caucus as opposed to just...
Does it matter?
Yeah, because I think Secaucus makes the final call.
No, I know they do,
Yeah.
but regardless of the
I'm not saying
procedures in place.
I'm not saying to justify it.
Yeah.
I'm saying just in terms of this culmination of bizarre things coming together to lead to the world's longest delay in NBA history.
All right, so I'll leave that there for you guys.
Just a quick, simple solution to all this, and we've said it before. Just like you have in anything you do, everything has a clock.
Yeah.
Just put a clock on. 60 seconds goes by. Whatever happens after the 60 seconds, run with it.
Okay, if we're going to get
Everything has a clock. Put
If
a
it's
clock on
60
it.
seconds, though, that's too long because the idea is to fix obvious mistakes.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Right? 10, 15. Can it? Oh, he's clearly out of bounds. Fix it, move on. If not, it's like, we called it. We're going to keep it moving.
But 60 seconds sounds like 3 seconds compared to the 30 minutes that they're spending.
That's for sure. Did you guys see the highlights? I guess they're highlights of the Dodgers playing those Korean teams.
I saw the girls.
Yeah,
I saw the dancing girls.
Those are the highlights. That the actual baseball itself, I don't even know if they actually played because nobody showed any of the highlights. But the woman who threw out the first pitch, the women dancing on the dugout, the drums playing. All I know is that Korea was not on my list of places to go, like at the top.
And it is now.
It got very near the top after seeing that. That's what baseball should have more of.
Well, remember during the beginning of the pandemic when sports were basically all
KBO
canceled,
was like the first thing back.
Right.
And that's right.
Everyone started tuning into Korean baseball for the first time because this was the only sport going on, and now you had an actual reason to be seeking out overseas baseball. One of the first things people said was, this league is incredibly entertaining. Like, they do it more with the idea of pure showmanship than we do in America.
I made this argument Friday, not to any of you three. I want to see if I can convert any of you. I think this idea to go play 2 regular season games in Korea is the worst idea ever. I've been to China with the Lakers for 2 preseason games. Went to Beijing, went to Shanghai. It was great. And at some point, these leagues got together and decided, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, that it would be a good idea to play regular season games halfway across the world. It's a terrible idea. It's a competitive disadvantage to the Dodgers and the Padres, who have to. I travel and have traveled with a basketball team for 20-plus years. Travel takes a toll on you.
Sure.
And those overseas trips, like the ones to China and Korea, take a toll on you. When the Dodgers went to Australia several years ago, Clayton Kershaw had to sit on a plane for 11 hours. For 2-3 years, his back was messed up. What are we doing? It is. I understand. Mason argues that they want to grow the game.
Right.
They want to grow the game internationally. You can do that with preseason games. What the F are we doing?
But isn't that essentially what these are, John? I know that they're official
No, they count.
But the fact that it's
they give them a week to get over there. They basically give them a week to come back, to reacclimate to the American time clock and everything else. I'm with you that they count is goofy, but it's only 2. And it's not like they do it in the middle of the season where they're over there and back in a 4 or 5 day window.
Trav, I did 6 cities in 9 days at the end of January. I still haven't recovered.
Yeah.
All right? It's not fair.
But when would you send them? If it was an exhibit, like the very beginning of spring training, at the end of the season, when do you send them if you're not going to send them now?
The team's got to ramp up.
Yeah.
But I would send them right at the let everybody ramp up. I'd send them right at the beginning of spring training.
John, here's why I think it's okay. It's okay because don't send the Dodgers and the Padres next year. Now go rotate 2 different teams. And the point I'm saying is that you can grow the game. Regular season games obviously are much more meaningful. Just don't send the Dodgers and the Padres again next year. Make it the Yankees and the Red Sox. And then the following year, make it Seattle.
Why do you want to screw the
and
Yankees and the Red Sox next year? Why do you want to screw Seattle in 2 years?
I think this is the best. I think this is the best way that you can do it. The fact that they're doing it, like you just mentioned,
this is really the only place you can put it.
I mean, you did it early enough. You give them some time to come back. They get home games when they come back.
This is a blatant money grab.
Sure, it is.
Of course it is. The sport itself is a money grab. This whole
everything
is a money grab. If 2 games in March screws up your internal clock for the rest of the season, the problem's you.
No, what I'm not suggesting it's going to screw up your clock for the rest of the season. I'm going to suggest that if they start 5-20, that has something to do with it.
If they start 5-20 because they played 2 games in
Dave
Korea
Roberts will be
March,
working at that Waffle House that guy keeps calling about.
No, I'm not. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying that travel with all the time in between those games in Korea and starting leads to a 5-20 start.
You know who didn't what are you talking about? All that time in between. They come back, they play the Freeway Series, and then the season starts up again. They get a weekend to catch up. That's enough time for you?
No, it's enough time by the time April rolls around, like the end of April. You've had enough time to catch up on that sleep.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, I think this is the only time you can do it because, to your point, to ramp up, You want Dodgers and Padres to show up to spring training 3 weeks earlier than
No.
everybody else?
I'm just saying, let them show up maybe a week earlier,
Yeah.
and then their first 2 spring training games can be in Korea.
Yeah, that's kind of, they're just, other than they count, that's kind of what they're doing right now. They do, the Padres and Dodgers did start
Plus, they want to showcase
earlier.
players who matter. If
Yeah.
you bring spring training games over there, they're watching a bunch of guys who may not even
They
be
wouldn't even
playing
send their
baseball.
guys.
Right, exactly.
You have the best experience by far because you travel all the time. We're all going to be sitting on our ass watching the game, and I know, so it's a lot easier for us. But I do think if you just rotate teams, just kind of, all right, let me make sure I don't put those teams back out there in a year.
And by the way, if you're sending teams halfway across the world for 2 games,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense either.
Okay, so that's an interesting
Play a
idea. Like,
four-game
if you're
set.
going to send them over for
A four-game set.
Send 4 teams over, have them play for a week, kind of a round robin thing, and
start it earlier. If you
and
want to start
start
Back
it
in the
earlier.
day when Babe Ruth and everybody was playing, when the season ended, they would go on tours like
Barnstorming.
this. Right. That'd be okay too. But if I was a Dodger season ticket holder, I'd be pissed.
Yeah,
Opening day for me is now at 2:30 in the morning. I got to get up at 2:30 to see Shohei Ohtani's first at bat as a Dodger. What are you doing?
It's only 3, John.
This
It's
is
not 2:30.
John.
I thought it was 2. Doesn't first pitch at 2:30?
I think it's 3.
John, it's
Pretty sure it's
such,
3.
and especially the Dodgers. I don't like the example of the Dodgers because this is also your opportunity to grow your global brand. You literally just brought
you can do
Shohei.
it. You can do it in
and
the offseason.
You can do it in the offseason, but think about how important this also is for the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers, granted this is Korea, I know it's not Japan, even though Korea, I'm sure, are going to fall in love with some of these Dodger players as well. I get what you're saying. I think ultimately at the end of the day, actually, it's a no-brainer
You know
to
who
me
seemed to
that
be
they got
having
to
a
do
great
these
time?
things.
Chris Taylor and his Dodger teammates when they
And
were watching
Glasnow.
that woman throw out the first pitch.
God
they seem
bless
to be
her.
enjoying a good. They seem
Maybe
to be
we'll bring
having-
some of those traditions over
yes,
here.
indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, a quick one before we head out here. Taking as much as you can luck out of the equation.
Okay.
Just pure difficulty combined with skill. Is that shot Kyrie Irving hit yesterday the best buzzer beater you've ever seen, where just a left-handed sidearmed hook shot from about 18 feet with Jokic defending?
Jeez.
All right. Michael Thompson's going to be in here when we start the show. I just saw him. He just walked in.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Michael.
Michael said 4 years ago, with dead serious, he said Kyrie Irving is the most skilled basketball player I have ever seen, and people mocked Michael for that. People said, "Oh, you're just prisoner of the moment." Because it was when the Warriors were playing the Cavs in the finals, and he said, "Nope." He said, if there was a one-on-one tournament with every player in the league, he would take Kyrie. And everybody made fun of him. And now everybody is saying what he said 4 years ago. Kyrie is a freak.
Have you ever seen a shot like that?
Well, I've seen him do that.
From there?
So here's the backstory on Kyrie. His father went and played basketball in Australia. His father was a good college player, went and played in Australia. Kyrie was born in Australia. And Kyrie grew up playing with kids that were much older and much taller than him. And so when you see him go into traffic, he's not scared. He has all these, he can contort his body.
Yep.
The fact that Jokic had his whole right side blocked, Kyrie's been shooting shots like that since he was a little kid. And the end result is he has a skill set that no one else has. No one has his quickness. No one has his handle. He's a great shooter. And because he's a freak and he's kind of a knucklehead and he says really weird stuff, people think that he can't possibly be the best player. He is. He's that skilled. And by the way, if he didn't have all that off the court stuff, he'd be considered like first team All-NBA every year.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he'd have to play.
Right.
But
But,
he
wouldn't get vaccinated, and then he takes
Well,
leave
he
absence.
says
He's on
crazy,
what,
you
his
know what.
fourth
Things
team.
like that keep him away from basketball. That's also part of the reason people don't talk about him as the greatest player of all time.
Right.
Like, you do have to be
Just
on the court.
pure degree of difficulty of that shot from that distance.
I don't know
live.
another player, Andy, who would take it,
No.
let alone make it.
I watched it live. That was insane. Like,
I covered Kobe's whole career. I never saw Kobe throw up a left-handed 15-footer to win a game.
No, I watched
And
that.
Kobe had more game
here.
winners than anybody.
My immediate reaction watching that was like speechless because like, wait, what just happened?
It's what Luka did. You see Luka's reaction?
Yeah, Luka was in shock.
And Kyrie's the best at the basket of I could use my left
the
or
best
my
finisher
right,
at his
kissing
size
it off
I've
the
ever
glass,
seen.
the whole thing.
Sure,
but what you said,
but when we
he's
talk about
15,
finishing
17
at the rim,
feet away.
I get it. With both hands and all, he contoured his body. He was nowhere near the rim. He was beyond the foul line. It was like an 18-footer.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
Unbelievable.
I tweeted out after that game, once I sort of got my bearings back and figured out what happened, I tweeted out, only a madman would take a left-handed hook shot from the free throw line to win a game. Kyrie Irving, exactly.
Right. That's totally accurate. He's, I mean, he's that good. He's just got the ability to do things and make shots that no one else even conceives.
John, I'm going to race down to my car. Give me a good 2 minutes to get there because I want to hear about your end of game.
I've just had it. I've had it with replay. I've had it with the refs. I've had
He's
it.
emptying the whole clip.
I was the whole time like, Ireland's going to lose his mind.
We already did. Michael and I already did.
Ireland's going to lose his mind. That's all was going through my head. Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what I have.